Leading the way.
Race fans, please support the brands that support our sport.
NutUp Industries and NutUp.com is the primary sponsor of these free live streams for our fans to enjoy. Please go to NutUp.com and enter the code MAVTV20 for a 20% discount on all of their great, healthy almond snacks. Please visit NutUp.com and support the brands that support our sport by entering MAVTV20 for a 20% discount to say thank you for this free live stream tonight.
At the bathroom? That was my spare. I got another one. Thank you. Going live in 4 minutes. Yeah, that's how you do it. Check, check, check.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? This motorsport special event starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Well, a pleasant good evening to you around the world at Short Track TV, and you can probably hear through the microphone how big my smile is at the moment because I'm excited to bring you grassroots motorsports at its finest. We're coming to you from Madera, California, just north of Fresno in the Central Valley of California for a presentation of Short Track TV. It's the Madera Speedway, the opening round of our Madera Late Model Series. And what this division is, it's our non-MAV TV televised separate point series from the Nut Up Pro Late Models, but make no qualms about it. It's the same cars, the same stars, and a lot of the same great excitement. And my name is Stephen Blakesley, and excited to bring in our promoter, Kenny Shepard, as well. And there's a big hello to everybody here in our booth high atop the Madera Speedway, as my buddy Outback Andy would say. And Kenny, this is a really nice field of late models here tonight, and a great opportunity to share our grassroots racers with all of our friends and fans out there on YouTube.
Yeah, I get to work with you tonight, so that's exciting. That's fun. I'm usually over here punching buttons and moving things around, so tonight I get to punch buttons, move around, and talk with you. And the club races have become some of my favorite races. Really great camaraderie, great competition. You get a mixture of newbies trying to cut their teeth, just folks that are hobby racing instead of golf, they come out and race. And then we've got some of our TV guys that tune up, guys and gals. So it's really a neat combination. You'll see some really good racing night. Typically, these club races are very clean races, too. So fans out there in Short Track TV land, welcome. From my side, I'll be punching all the buttons. Stephen will take the lead here, and I'll jump in and probably take the perspective of a race car driver that I do every night that I'm sitting at a racetrack. I always envision myself in certain cars and racing and miss it badly.
Yeah, so let's kind of give you a recap of what has already taken place. We've had qualifying and heat races for all of our divisions, and the late models, they're the same rules package as our Nut Up Pro Late Models and some of the same names and faces. Austin Herzog led qualifying on the Wild Child, Kyle Keller out of Lost Wages, Nevada, and Jay Julesen, that's an all-junior late model graduate top 3 in the late models, and you're going to see that trend throughout the season here at Madera. Heat race number 1 for the late models was a rematch of Matt Erickson and Austin Herzog. You'll remember last week here on Short Track TV, they went side-by-side for second all the way to the wire in that main event. Well, Erickson won the battle today in heat race number 1 by 28 1/1000ths of a second. Heat race number 2 won by Kyle Keller. Heat race number 3 to Aaron Mullins. In our hobby stocks, Nathan Casillas led qualifying, but he was outsmarted by Bakersfield's Michael Nix in the heat race after a bit of contact that was not really anyone's fault, kind of incidental contact, and then Nix took the lead. Our modified Super Toyotas have a great field today, Kenny. We have 8 of them. Ryan Reynolds led qualifying over Sean Reynolds. And then in the heat races, they split them. So Ryan won heat race number 1, Sean won heat race number 2. And in our junior late models, we've got Casey Klein all the way from Quincy, Washington. And we'll tell the story more throughout the night of why they're here and what they're trying to accomplish. But they led qualifying and the heat races. We also have Haley Lyles from Dinuba, California, and a debut in the junior late models for Tracy, California driver Rebecca Doobie. That's our Mini Cup champion from last year moving up. So that will be an interesting group as well. And those are the divisions you're going to see here tonight. And again, just really looking forward to bringing this to our fans. And we're going to start them off hot and heavy with those youngest drivers here in the junior late models. Our youngest stock car drivers getting on the racetrack right now.
Yep, junior late model exhibition race coming up right now, and this is the place where so many of our junior drivers come in and they cut their teeth when kind of nobody's watching, and it's just a great situation for them to gain some lap time. So you'll see them really advance. We saw one of the McClinney boys last year. In fact, one came in and ran one of the club races, did very well. So really interesting there. That heat race you had mentioned with Erickson, what a finish that was. That was that looked like a TV race.
It was great. Yeah. It was great, and that's why I'm so excited to see how that plays out in the 40-lap main event. So with that, we'll take a look at your starting lineup for the junior late models. We'll start at the back in car number 68, Rebecca Doobie, coming to us out of Tracy, California, in that former Philpott owned chassis. I guess Justin drove that car and his cousin Ryan did all the work to get it ready for Rebecca, so that's pretty cool. A car that has raced at Altamont in her hometown of Tracy, California. And then in the 15 ride, you have Haley Lyles, the dirt go-kart star, who had a win at Tulare Karting Club in the off-season in the All-Star Towing number 15 with support from Jean Keller. And then on the pole, he's got 2 cars here today. He's going to race what they call the old car, but it's a pretty darn nice one for the number 1 of Casey Cash. That's Casey Klein out of Quincy, Washington, and that'll be your starting lineup for our junior late models here. This one is scheduled, Kenny, to be a 25-lap affair, so seat time is the name of the game for our junior late models.
Yeah, what we do in the club races is they will get to run their own 25-lap race, and then the kids that are advanced enough where we're comfortable with them, they will actually join. You'll see the 1 and the 15 tag the back of the pro late model race a little bit later, the club race, to gain even more laps. And as I'd mentioned, it was Cabe McClinney that really advanced in a couple of these club races last year. Won one of them as a junior. It was pretty impressive.
Well, then you look at this year's junior late model crop, and we can't emphasize this enough. We came into last week's season opener without a single race winner in the field. And the only time that's ever happened was back in the series debut at the start of 2016 when 14 cars sailed off into turn 1 and we all held our breath. And this year it was 16 cars, and again we kind of held our breath, and it was a wild one. I think they all wanted to win it real bad. And then the guy that kind of surprised everyone, like you said, Cale McClenny, from 11th on the grid to win that race. That's about as deep as you're going to win a junior late model race from. That's probably, I'd have to look back, that's got to be up there as the deepest we've ever had a winner come from.
Yeah, and we give away $250 from the Madera Speedway for the biggest mover, meaning the car that gains the most positions from their starting position to the end. And that's the first time we've had a winner that also earned the biggest mover award, the $250 award that Mr. McClenny won, and ironically his brother won the other one in the pros, so they took home $500 of bonus money from the Madera Speedway for that, so very exciting.
Well, and big brother Cabe McClenny, that was a drive. We didn't get a lot of it on our MAV TV cameras, but I'm sure we got a lot of it on the onboard cameras for the replay of that race. He went 20th to 5th, and it's not going to quite exceed that run from 26th into the top 5 that Tyler Herzog did at the short track shootout. That's one of the more remarkable things I've ever seen in my life in a late model. But 20th to 5th is not too shabby as we're getting these young drivers lined up. Again, we've got the youngster out of Quincy, Washington, Casey Klein, and they keep their cars in the Fresno area. So they were able to just fly down and go race and win on a whim. And to his outside, the young lady, the 15 car of Dinuba, California driver, the dirt cart standout, Haley Lyles. And again, Tracy, California's Rebecca Doobie making her start in the big cars. And like my longtime MAV TV and Altamont partner, Al Bagani, would say, you know, the cars that she's coming from, those mini cups, they will fit on the hood of one of these junior late models. So it's a big step up. And she's been kind of approaching the corners like a mini cup. If you've ever seen a mini cup, they don't lift in the turns and they really hustle the corner. You can't quite do that in a junior late model, but her times have fallen throughout the day, and would love to see her test her mettle against these two who have some experience. We see the green from fearless Frank McBee. We're off and racing junior late model style here at the Madera Speedway.
This is a great way for them to gain experience. They get a start up front. They kind of learn the start procedures a bit, and off and running. Lyles, that new race car looks like a hot rod. That thing's pretty quick.
Well, you got to love the look of it, too, and partnered up with the Keller team and talking to Kyle Keller in the pits, and he was saying, yep, my vinyl guy does all her vinyl, all of mine, and they're all very, very nice-looking cars, the CSM Graphics cars, but a real good-looking car with the money on the side of it. Don't know if that's the his stimulus payment flapping in the breeze on the one for Casey Klein, as there's a look at Haley Lyles, and she had a real big win at the Tulare Kings Karting Club in the offseason, where she was passing people on the outside, and they posted an onboard camera from that. Rebecca Doobie just spun her out on the front straightaway, and we'll see what Rebecca does. Fearless Frank, quick with the yellow flag, which is the right call there, just to, it's just an exhibition race, no points, just some glory here on YouTube, and give her a chance to turn around. But to my point real quick on that win by Haley Lyles, the onboard camera they posted, they used a voiceover track of some shake and bake as she was making the moves on the outside. It was pretty amazing. And so we'll see if that talent can translate here to the big 1/3 mile.
Yeah, and Rebecca, this is her very first time. It was fun watching her take a few laps in the pits today, grinning ear to ear. pretty cool. You know, we've seen so many of these kids that come out. First of all, most of them don't know how to operate a car with a clutch, so they've got to learn that. And then the next thing is how to get this big car on and off the racetrack without knocking fenders off going through the gates. She's accomplished that, and much like the mini cup drivers we see, they are fearless with speed through the corner. It's amazing how fast they roll through the corner. Rebecca was no exception to that, flying through the middle of the corners. And this is what this is all about. This is why we did the club nights again for the pros. We've got a mixture of guys that instead of going and playing with golf clubs, they play with race cars. We've got some of the TV guys that come in and a little bit of mixture, people trying to make it to the TV show. And for the juniors, it was just a perfect fit or mixture. It looks like Frank's giving them the 2 to go. So it's a cool situation. Plus, again, for Haley Lyles, she's on the front row. She's starting in the outside on the front row. This is a great experience. So when this happens on TV, she's kind of been there, done that.
So I want to say hello to everybody tuning in. Seth Bowles tuning in from Aurora, Colorado. What are you doing there, bud? And Steve Fernandez from the Veterans Home in Fresno. We love our veterans. And like our buddy Davey Boy likes to say, are you proud to be an American? So let us know where you're tuning in from. I do mention that, but I got to tell you, we had an international following last week. We had folks from Brazil tuned in.
Yeah, I saw that. That was amazing.
So please thumbs up this video. It helps it get out there on the recommended, helps the algorithms. We were over 200 likes last week. And also, please share this link on your social media platforms, providing you free stock car racing from Central California at the Madera Fairgrounds north of Fresno, California. The first of 4 main events today are junior late models. We're back underway, and they sail it off into turn number 1. And I think Lyles would do well to do exactly what she did there. Tuck up underneath the 1 and learn some stuff and see if you can't figure something out. 25 laps. A lot of learning will take place over the course of 25 laps.
Absolutely. All about logging time, consistent, smooth laps, and confidence running up front. Rebecca a little bit squirrely down the back straightaway. She's learning. She drives so fast through the middle of the corner right there. It's a little bit difficult to get the car to go through the corner. That thing's probably pretty slow to her in the middle of the corner compared to her mini cup, I would bet.
Yeah, and Rebecca made a pretty remarkable save on the back straightaway in the heat race, so I want to tip my cap to her. I'll tell you what, she's doing better than I would do if I just jumped out of the tower, that's for sure. She's using that mini cup experience, and what's kind of cool is we have Rebecca Doobie and Harley Keneally, both females, both winners in the mini cup last year, both moving up today. And it's been fun to track their lap times. They're both 602 crate motored vehicles. Doobie in the junior late model and Harley Keneally in the truck. Doobie has to run a restrictor plate. Harley has to run a bit heavier because it's a hobby stock truck. So their lap times are pretty similar, and it's been fun to see who can get their vehicle around this track quicker. It's all Casey Klein, and there's the 15 again of Lyles here. And if you're wondering, once again, this is a 25-lap affair. And, the tires are squealing, and things just got 5150 in turn 2 for the 68. She was living the madness down there here in the first of our 4 main events of the night. Caution flying here on lap 8.
Rebecca's gaining that valuable experience. Again, the first time she's ever been in the car. That's what these days are all about. And one thing with Rebecca, as I mentioned, coming from the mini cups, they're fearless. They try and roll without the brake. They try and gain all that mile per hour through the middle of the corner. And we've seen this with so many of the kids that came from mini cups. Momentum. Those cars fly through the middle of the corner. And what she'll have to learn is, as you'll hear Buddy Shepard talk about, as you'll hear Matt Erickson talk about when they're running back that corner, back it up, shed some speed before you get there, and then roll the apex out. Look, we've got a junior late model driver from Texas, looks like, spying on checking out the track, checking out the live
feed. He was good last week. That's Barrett Polhemus, and a driver who, when I went to go interview him after he finished second by about 1 foot, and it's an amazing photo from Jason Wedehays, by the way, but he finished second by 1 foot, but he was celebrating like he had won the race because it was his debut in the series, and that was a big accomplishment for Barrett Polhemus. Want to say hello to Sterling Baker from Fresno. We got Megan Doobie tuned in saying, "Go Becca." And then want to say hello to Lori Bowersox from Seminole, Oklahoma. And her husband, Jason, father-in-law, John Bowersox, used to race here at Madera. And Dell, the stuntman McIntosh, in the house from Madera, California, tuned in live.
Yep, it's just not right not having Dale here, missing Roy Robinette, as we've talked about. And look who's crawling up the stairs coming to see us here.
I heard there's a
Huh?
I'll wait till he gets in the booth.
Cameraman extraordinaire is in the house. Huh?
I heard on the news that there's a football referee shortage in California right now. So I'm amazed that you're not at a game. I know you've been doing games, right? He just got done with the game, so I want to welcome Zachary into the booth. Turn around
and say hi at the camera.
I like you get a shameless plug, too. We got Georgia Boy Barbecue. Look him up on Facebook. He's doing tri-tip plates, rib plates. And he's going to join us here. Careful, we might give you a microphone if you're not careful here. But I want to say hello to the hardest working camera guy in the business, Zachary, tuned in from FedEx and football games and running around to smoking and steaming cars. And, if people start throwing punches, he's dodging them. And
yeah, we missed you last week. Good to see you. You know who really missed you last week? Matt. He had to do your job. Oh, he was from that end to this end, and I caught him at the end of the night after we load out at the end of the night, an hour of gear going down. He was snapping. Yeah, he was running all over the place, taking a nap down there. Oh, he's looking for you. I think he's going to give you a raise.
Yeah,
He'll give you half his pay if you're back next time.
We were slightly short-handed because all of our staff here at the Short Track TV, Short Track Management Productions are in demand, if you will. And so Zachary wasn't available, and our own Jason Galvin was out in Gainesville chasing gators.
Chasing gators.
Yeah, he's a big deal. He's doing NHRA stuff. And,
Of
course, I'll be balancing some duties with Roseville and here at Madera. So it's great to see that. So Fearless Frank's letting these drivers know we got one more time around. So our running order today is a little different from what's on the website. It's going to go junior late models. If you've never seen a mini Super Toyota race, you picked a good night. We got 8 of them here today. Then the hobby stocks. Then the main event is the Madera late models. And, we're not just learning how to go fast in battle. We're also working on restarts. And Casey Klein, that wasn't a good one. So we're going to try that again.
Well, what they're looking for, and you can see Frank, even though he's wearing a mask, I can see the frown through the mask. What they want on the restarts, there's some cones over there in 3 and 4 right there. Right there. They just went by us on their own camera. And what they want is the front row to gradually build speed. That helps other cars not miss shifts and spin tires and put cars in the flag stand that we've had before. So what Mr. Klein did there was hit those cones and wide open took off, kind of like we used to do in the old dirt track days. You go down there and turn 3 wide open, try and leave them, start somewhere different all the time. Yeah. Let me know if any of you guys hear any static out there. I think it's just in my monitor. I've got one camera that's giving me a little bit of weird feedback, but if you hear any static popping, give me a comment there. Let me know it's clear and clean.
Good-looking restart that time. We want the leader to have just about a fender on the second-place car. Cale McClenny, he got a little bit more than that a couple of times. They did talk with him on that last week, and that's going to be worked on, but good restart. And again, I think it benefits Haley Lyles to get to the bottom, get behind Casey Klein, and just see what she can learn from the driver from Washington who has raced a little bit of pro and open late model racing up in Idaho. Ran in the Idaho 200 last year, drove up into the top 10, which is pretty remarkable. It's kind of the short track shootout of Idaho, Kenny, and that's a big accomplishment if a 12-year-old can be in the mix.
I'll tell you what, that number 1 car looks pretty racy right now. I know they switched from their primary car, the new one, to his older car. Sound like Casey liked it a little bit better. Very impressive, and Haley Lyles, too. That car really cuts. That looks like that is a hot rod she's driving. That's a brand-new car, and I think it's quite a step up from her last year's car.
Yeah, and Rebecca Doobie has dipped into the 16s for the first time, into the 16.8s. So she's got it wound up, and we were talking about that battle between Doobie and Harley Keneally for lap times. So Harley's going to have to step it up now as we're working our way through this one. We're closing in quickly here as we're past the halfway mark. 13 down, 12 to go for car 1, Casey Cash out front.
And the lap count's really important because you want them to do a little bit more of a long run. You want to put a little pressure on them, and it wears you out. It's very physical in these cars. So that's Dean Gray on the camera right there. So if you see the camera like Zach's not running it, that's Dean. Dean used to run cameras up at Altamont, he talked about. So Dean's been bragging about running the camera. He thought, heck, jump on there, Dean Gray, and off he goes. So
when he gets tired, Zach can take over.
Yep, watch out. Zach will flag. Zach will do a little bit of everything. Hey, Zach, we're building a race car. We bought a race car to race against John Williams, a little mini stock. Yep. And so we're going to rotate the staff in it. We are. The staff, that's what it's for, is for the race officials, TV crew, probably even Stephen Blake.
Now, if Zach fits, all fit, as we're pretty tall here, as we have to cut the roof off. But, making into a T-top as they're approaching Rebecca Doobie. And we had a bit of a moment in the heat race as well of where we want to place the lap car. I meant to ask Michael McMeans what he's looking for on that. I personally, as a race car driver here at Madera, you want them on the top?
Laps high side. Yep.
Okay, so that's what she's doing. I kind of have a sense that the bottom wouldn't be too bad either, but we worked our way past her, all clean, no foul there. 7 to go for Casey Cash, who's working his way towards earning an interview with us here on Short Track TV if he's not careful. And we'll have to ask him boxers or briefs, if he has a girlfriend back home. We'll have to embarrass the 13-year-old a bit here as we're coming up on 6 to go. 2 more miles of racing, and Kenny is keeping his eye on Dean Gray here, I can tell.
Well, I may have to pop out of here. I'm hoping Dean knows to dial in his camera on the interviews, number one. Then I was also looking for John Williams, that's going to run our interview microphones down there for us here in a bit. I think John's off getting ready to turn the lights on.
Joshua Rodriguez on YouTube said that Zach would probably flip the car.
Huh.
I don't know about that. As we're coming up, this thing's winding down quickly. Our next race, again, is going to be the MSTs, which is a phenomenal field tonight for them. Looking forward to the competition level there. And next time around, we're going to have just 1 more mile of the youngest stock car racers in the West. And as I say that, Haley Lyles turns it in turn 4, a corner that has bit her a few times, and Rebecca jumped on the binders and spun and nut up turn 3, and all of a sudden Casey Klein's the last man standing for the moment. But we'll right the ship and do a 3-lap shootout here at Madera. Want to say hello to Rod Carsey tuning in from Texas. Russell Hills said that he was at Meridian, or he's seen the number 1 of Casey Klein race at Meridian. They have a junior late model series there that Casey participates in from time to time. Another one of our junior late model standouts from Idaho, Jody Moen races in that series, and this year is going to move up. They're going to run a pro late model division at Meridian, Idaho this year, utilizing a Madera style rule book. So Jody's going to move up to the full pros there. I'm sorry, Rod Carsey is in Indianapolis. I want to say hello to Seth Mills from Massachusetts, an old friend of Nathan Casillas. And thank you all. They're all saying the audio is great. They're all saying it's all clear.
So that's just in my monitors, the little static popping here and there. So sometimes they, if one cable doesn't get along with another one in the mixer or whatever, we hear it back on our monitors. I just want to make sure it's clean going out there. Now, that's impressive. Rebecca is doing a really good job pulling away with the clutch. So a lot of times if you're stuck in the embankment of the track, that's rather difficult. In her heat race, she got tangled up a little bit there, and she did a really good job pulling away there, which is part of driving these stock cars, the clutch, the shifting. There's a lot more going on than more of the go-kart style where it's just a go on the right foot and a stop on the left foot.
Yeah, she had a spin in turn 2 in practice, and took her a minute to get it, but she figured it out. And again, practice making perfect here. Want to give a shout out to our Nut Up Pro Late Model champion, Buddy Shepard, runner-up in the Winner's Showdown for the second time in his career this afternoon. And I think the one guy that could really give Derek Thorne a run for his money in 2021 is Buddy Shepard. So good luck to him. Great to see him moving up through the ranks as we're back underway. And you know, when you get these late restarts, anything can happen, and Lyles would like to keep this one interesting as we come in on mission turn 4. Her mission is to run down Casey Klein here, and they actually rolled it back to lap 21, so now we are at 3 to go, 22 down of this main event junior late model style, just an exhibition race, but don't tell the top 2 because they're having a great one here. 2 laps remaining here at Madera.
Well, and there's a nice trophy for the winner, so that's pretty important for them as well. And good competition. Both cars about the same speed. Looks like the one car of Klein's a little bit better through the middle of the corner, and it's showing up over a few laps. Frank McVie getting ready to toss out that white flag. Let's go to Frank right now.
One more lap for car 1. Casey Klein, the guy they call Cash, trying to cash himself a trophy here at Madera Speedway. He'll roll through the final set of corners. And Casey Klein, you are a main event winner at the fastest 1/3 mile in the West as he takes the junior late model victory on Haley Lyles. And a big salute to Rebecca Doobie, who showed a lot of improvement throughout that main event and wraps things up on the lead lap to wrap up her debut in the juniors. We'll be hearing from our winner here in just a moment on our Short Track TV YouTube. A great opportunity to hit that like button and a great opportunity to share this live stream all over your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you can. Snapchat, TikTok, Reddit, whatever you got. Burner, whatever you got. So you just hit us up with that, and we will appreciate that. Right now we're at 32 likes. I think we can get this to 50 right away here. We got over 200 last week, so we'd like to get to 50. And so what we do for our interviews is we do them with social distancing and just making sure the wireless mic isn't up here. I think I'll just throw that out of the way, that jacket there. But what we do is we do these interviews with social distancing where we're going to have our wireless microphone on a mic stand down on the start finish, and we are going to interview them where they get to hear me over the radio, but you'll get to hear them over the live stream over that wireless microphone. So John Williams is helping us set that up down there. And we're going to test the microphone right now. I don't know that he's not testing it yet. And we have no way to, well, I guess we're going to tell him over the radio. We want to test here.
I've got it muted. I can hear him in the background right there. John, go ahead and give me a test there. John, count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's hot. It's very hot, Kenny. Now, that'll work well for our junior late models, but if Matt Erickson gets excited in the pros, that might be a little loud.
Yeah, we'll dial it back. We can crank it up and down and ready to go. So what we'll end up doing here, like Outback Andy and I did last year, there's a speaker right below that microphone so the drivers can hear Steven's questions as Steven's talking to them, and then we'll engage back and forth.
And Kenny, that radio down there, it's on channel 3, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, perfect. All right, so stepping up to the podium, we'll see if Dean can get him on camera there, is going to be the number 1, a Casey Klein, Casey Cash. And Casey, welcome to Victory Lane. Just how good does it feel to be a main event winner here at Madera Speedway?
It feels pretty good. We've been racing here for about 3 years now, and so it feels good to be a main event winner now.
And I know we got a lot of people from up in your neck of the woods in the Northwest tuned in, listening. Who are some of the people and some of the sponsors you want to thank for this one?
I want to thank Thamert Farms. I don't know. I just went completely blank there. Thamert Farms, Mountain View Polaris, and everyone else who I forgot. I went completely blank, so I don't remember anything now.
Hey, Casey, this is Kenny. I wanted to ask you real quick, what do you think you learned from a night like this? What can you carry into the next junior TV race from this?
I think I really just learned my line and how to get into the corners and everything just to get my car a couple more tenths faster.
Well, we can't wait to see you back here in April, and great drive tonight, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, that's Casey Klein getting it done in our junior late model main event, and that's pretty cool. And I know Jason Lawton here, our very helpful audio expert, video expert. He's thinking turn up the kids, but I guarantee you when we get to the adults, it's going to get pretty hot. But he's thinking we might want to turn them up just a little bit.
I nudged it, and if Jason Lawton gives you advice, you better follow that advice when it comes to audio, stages, or anything like that.
Well, we welcome Haley Lyles up to the podium, and it must feel good to come home in second place. What are some of the things that you've been learning in these exhibition races?
I've been actually learning a lot from these expedition races, how to entry better and come off better. So we're learning a lot from these. It's a lot of practice. We're getting in seat time, so that's all we need.
And tell us about this race car. It's a good-looking car. Just tell us about it.
Yeah, it's fielded out of Vegas from John Keller Motorsports, and I'm very thankful for them. They've helped me a lot with this car, so yeah.
Anyone else that you want to thank?
I want to thank my dad, Teresa, just John Keller and all the Keller Motorsports people that help us on our car.
Great drive today.
Thank you.
Hey, that's Haley Lyles coming home in second. And I got to tell you, doing the interviews this way is working pretty well. And it's great to get to hear from all these drivers in a safe way. But we're also looking forward to hopefully into April, we might be able to welcome fans back. And we'll talk more about that as the program goes on. And here's an interview I'm really looking forward to, Kenny. And I'm sure you probably have some questions for her too. But I'll start off here with Rebecca Doobie coming home in the third position. Hey, Rebecca Doobie coming home in the third spot. Just tell us, what are some of the differences between driving this junior late model versus coming out of the Mini Cup?
It's a lot bigger, and I have to learn how to drive with the clutch, which is fun.
And you've got a lot of great people down there helping you. We saw you had a wide variety of people on the pit crew. Who are some of the people helping you down there?
My grandparents, my brother, my mom, my sisters, and the Huffmans.
And Kenny, I think you had something for?
My sponsor is Main Street Music.
Rebecca, this is Kenny. I've got a question for you. Okay. I know when I first raced, there was so much anticipation. I was wondering what it was actually going to be like when I first got to drive a stock car. How much did you think about this, and how different was it when you actually got here today compared to what you thought it would be?
I thought it was going to be simple, like the Mini Cup. You just get going and then you learn your lines, but it's a lot harder to get the car started than with the Mini Cup because of the clutch, so it's fun.
You did an excellent job. You gained a lot today, and I will compliment any Mini Cup driver that comes into the junior program. Typically, you guys are fearless. We don't have to teach you how to go fast through the corner. You actually have to learn how to slow down. So, excellent job today. We look forward to seeing your progression moving forward.
Thank you.
All right, so Rebecca Doobie coming home in the third spot, rounding out our junior late model podium, and really looking forward to seeing her progression. It's always amazing. You know, it's really cool, like even thinking about Cale McClenny. You know, we got to see him here in a Mini Cup and the way he progressed up through the ladder into the junior late models. And we got ourselves some special folks to thank. We'll be right back here on Short Track TV on YouTube. The Modified Super Toyotas coming up.
Brand new commercial coming up from Carlos Vieira on his book, Knocking Doors Down, and on 5150. So enjoy this. Watch it close, guys.
5150 is power. The power to overcome. The power to persevere. The power to set your life on a course for success. When you're faced with the challenges life throws at you, you focus and do what is needed to go beyond what is required. So stand up, stand firm, believe, make it happen, and live through the madness, knocking doors down along the way. We are 5150.
Where you are now may not be where you came from. Sometimes you're preparing for success, and sometimes you're preparing for failure. The choices you make today may spiral out of control or spin you in the right direction. Your past doesn't define you, but the choices you make today can change your life forever. The drive can motivate you or destroy you. But you have to find a way out. Discover a riveting, real-life story of recovery that will inspire you. Believe, make it happen, and live through the madness, knocking doors down along the way. Read the true story of how Carlos Vieira nearly destroyed his life and lived to tell about it. And don't miss others telling their powerful stories on our podcast. Visit kddmediacompany.com.
Well, welcome back to Madera Speedway, and it's pretty powerful to be inspired by what Carlos Vieira has done with his life and how he's given back to the community here in California. I'm sure we have a lot of people tune in from around the world that aren't really familiar with Carlos Vieira's story, but you can learn more about it at kddmediacompany.com, and he has been extremely influential to helping Madera Speedway grow. And you know, one of the reasons he's able to do that is he is one of the most successful sweet potato farmers and packers in the world, and really cool to have him a part of our racing program here. And another thing that a lot of fans around the world might not be familiar with is our Modified Super Toyota. Is a very unique car, Toyota-powered Modifieds. And we're getting ready to introduce you to a great field. We have 8 of them here today, and they're going to get it on for 30 laps. Let's take a look at your starting lineup. We'll start at the back in the 88. It's Chris Earls. And in car number 77, the Thompson Trailer Sales entry, it's Nick Thompson aboard the 77. Car number 2, one of many drivers here at Madera that started right there on the back straightaway at Good Times QMA and is now racing at the big track. It's Haley Bugg in car number 2. And to her inside in the number 24 modified Super Toyota, it's Dave Lander. Starting fourth, the driver who runs kind of the Geico-looking paint scheme on there with the froggy on it. He wants to leap his way to the front, the 21 of Patrick Geiger, and to his inside, the 58 of Tim Kammerer. And then our front row, these guys split the heat races today. First of all, your winner of heat race number 2, Sean Reynolds. And on the pole, your fast time qualifier and the heat race winner of heat race number 1, it's Ryan Reynolds. And that's your field for the 30-lap modified Super Toyota main event.
Race fans, if you want to see something intense, just hang on. These mini Super Toyota drivers, they race so you think it's for the Daytona 500. We always tell them it's club racing, it's fun racing. Well, once the green flag drops, watch what happens. And the two that'll be the most intense with each other will be those brothers up front. Very, very entertaining class. Making a pretty good-sized comeback, too. We've got another 3 to 4 cars on their way out right now. John Bowersox has been building engines, donating parts, working in everyone's shop, and the guys get together. It's a really neat group of folks.
Yeah, it's a good one, but it's going to be really tough for the rest of the field to overcome the Reynolds brothers being on the front row. So interested to see if anyone can overcome that. Might see Patrick Geiger leap his way into that position. We'll see if he can do that.
Mini Super Toyotas. People would ask, what are these? Well, they're Toyotas, and they're modifieds. We have the Toyota sedan class that was really popular for a lot of years. That's kind of the stock car version. And this is the mini modified with the same Toyota rear end and parts. And Frank is giving him the double up sign. That's typically 2 to go. We should see 1 to go next time by from Frank. Dean Gray's got us on the front row of the Reynolds boys. But you had mentioned Carlos Vieira real quick. Carlos Vieira has been our original sponsor of the 5150 Junior Late Model Series. He's been the only title sponsor on that series and has just been a tremendous supporter of the youth program. He does so much in the way of boxing clubs and after-school programs to keep kids out of trouble. So he took the negativity of what he went through and completely turned it into an amazing positive, and he's helped so many people. We all have to say thank you to Carlos. Make sure to grab a book. Get that Knocking Doors Down book and read it. It's an amazing read. It's incredible. He tells it with just doesn't pull any punches. Looks like we are heading to the green, Stephen.
Yeah, looks like we're getting set to go here, and really don't know who's going to come out on top here between the Reynolds boys.
I would say the 33 for the first little bit here. The bottom group, because of the rain's a little bit better. Dean Gray, off turn 4 right there, off turn 4.
Yeah, it's the 24 Dave Lander facing the wrong way. He's going to right the ship. We're going to stay green.
Dave's quite the sportsman. Dave lost his mother, so with our condolences to him. Lost a lot of good people I'd mentioned. Boy, look at this off of turn 4, side by side, but Frank's got that yellow flag swinging.
We're forced to go yellow because of Nick Thompson in turn 1.
So I might have been incorrect. I thought the bottom group would be a little bit better because of all the rain. I saw a couple of the cars going up there and putting a little bit of rubber down. Matt Erickson took the lead, if I'm correct, in the heat race from Austin Herzog on the high side. So this could be interesting. That high side's taking a little bit more rubber than we thought it would. So these two Reynolds boys may go side by side. I don't know if you know it or not, Stephen, but they bought a pair of late models.
Yeah.
You heard the nose. Yeah, so they'll be out in, sounds like the end of April. They're going to join. They'll run both classes, and they'll join our club racers. Now look at Dean's camera. Dean's camera is really bright on one side of the track,
this, yeah.
Matt, and Matt was dealing with this a little bit last week. Now Zach's looking with what the heck's going on.
Yeah, get an ND filter
ND filter. He doesn't have the sunglasses on. So there's 3 settings. So what we could do, the sun's going to go down, so we could either deal with it, or Zach could run downtown to put it on 1. Right in the middle would probably be a good compromise, but let him know as soon as he sees shadows, pull it to 0 or it'll get dark.
Well, and you deal with this like beginning of the season and end of the season, and from the B-roll I put together for you last week, I had a few shots that were a bit blown out. It happens, but what I do want to observe though is although the camera is exaggerating it just a little bit,
there's the sunglasses.
It's still going to be really tricky on these drivers. That means that you have one half of the speedway in sun, one half of the speedway in shade. And okay, I know that folks from Wisconsin are going to blow me up if I say it's cold. But it's cool out there. It's breezy and cool out there. And so the track temperatures are probably a good 20 degrees different, back straightaway to front straightaway. And so that could be affecting the handling of these cars as well.
Well, you mentioned Rod Carsey. Rod's probably saying it's a balmy 40, maybe, or a balmy 30 back. What is it back there?
Yeah, I'm going to look
Rod?
right now. It's really easy to look.
Balmy.
Yeah, it's probably, it's 48, so he doesn't have us beat by a whole lot, really.
He's sweating. He's sweating. It's tearing him up.
Yeah, it's 49 here, so we're about best buddies here on the temperatures. Going racing, and now this time around, the bottom was the ticket, as we saw the 10 sliding around there for Sean Reynolds. And Ryan Reynolds will take advantage of that. It looks like he has what it takes to lead this first lap, but it's a 30-lap race.
But look at the momentum on the high side. Watch this big run down the back straightaway that 10 car will get. Big run, big momentum off of the high side of the track coming down the hill. You're going to see it again. Looks like 1 and 2, the high side's a little bit better, but it's definitely coming in.
Well, what Outback Andy calls that is the slingshot maneuver, and it was a slingshot for Sean Reynolds by 59 1/1000ths. He's got his modified Super Toyota into the lead, and remember I mentioned the 21 at Geiger. I thought he could play spoiler. He's in the catbird seat in third, and a big lunge through turn 3 for the 33 of Ryan Reynolds. Sean Reynolds maintains the lead. He'd like to clear him and get to the bottom. The outside might be a good passing lane, but it's probably not the racing lane for the 10 car.
Yeah, we saw the 10 car loose on the entry of 1. That's the second time. Watch this, race fans. He goes in. There's not quite enough here. Watch that right rear kind of step out right there on that transition where he's turning left. Didn't look bad that time. We're going to slide back a little bit, it looks like. Dean's on his own tonight.
He's doing well.
Yep, Dean's on his own. He's his own spotter side by side. The brothers Reynolds putting on a heck of a show for us again.
And they're still side by side for the lead, the Reynolds brothers. And I think Dean's got a radio on technically, but I think Kenny's not really talking to him as they're working their way out of turn number 4. They are still side by side. 6 down, 24 to go. How much longer can they do this? As the 21 of Geiger in the catbird seat right now, as I said, just waiting.
You know who is over there on the fence really paying attention to this right now?
Your late models. I would think Matt Erickson, who loves the outside line, is thinking, well, how good is it?
I'm watching Matt Erickson. I'm watching Jason Aguirre, Jay Julison, very fast today. They are really paying attention to this outside line coming in, so you may see a little more aggressiveness on the high side. I should have been on that camera, actually the other one.
Well, Ryan Reynolds has wrestled the lead away. He got it back on lap number 7, has cleared the 10 of Sean Reynolds, and I know you hate it when I say this, Kenny, where I think maybe you get your tires hot on the outside, but the 10 is kind of slipping and sliding there, and he almost got overhauled by the 21 of Geiger, and he immediately escapes to the bottom.
Well, it's not that you get your tires hot from the outside. The outside is actually easier on the tires because of the banking compared to the flat scrubbing. But what happens on the outside, there's a lot of rubber on the bottom of the track. There's very little rubber on the top of the track. So you're actually going to slip and slide more on the high side, creating more tire wear to your point. So you are correct when the track conditions are the way they are this week and last week. Next week, those of you in short track TV land, you're going to have Frank's growling at somebody.
Yeah, they're They're warning the 88 of Chris Earls, the debutante there.
Okay.
And he's got to get, he got very clear of the drivers.
Yeah. And he's got to be careful because he could be up there where there's marbles. But back to a little inside information that all of you are like spies on short track TV right now. We're going to spray the top of the track. We're going to put rubber on the top of the track next week, and nobody knows it. So don't tell anybody, please. But you'll see some really aggressive moves on the high side. That way, when we come back on April 3rd with our MAV TV show, you will see some high side racing in a major way up the racetrack.
Well, you and 216 of your closest friends are all clued in on that now. It's working our way through this one rather quickly here. We're closing in on the halfway mark. And throughout the time that you were talking about the track conditions, Kenny, every lap, Ryan Reynolds was running a quicker lap than the lap before. He did it for about 3 consecutive laps. This time here on lap 14 is not the case. The lap times fell off a bit there. But this time around, we'll be halfway home for Ryan Reynolds, Sean Reynolds. Good battle for third between Patrick Geiger and Tim Kammerer. And a tip of the hat to Haley Bugg, rounding out your top 5. Dave Lander spun at the beginning of the race. He is P6. Then Nick Thompson. Then the lone car lap down is the 88 of Chris Earls. It's modified Super Totas from Madera Speedway here on Short Track TV. We still have our hobby stocks and our Madera late model main events to come. Please like, share, and comment. And Barrett Polhemus, he said he's planning to go up on the top when he comes back here for the junior late model race.
Uh-oh, he's got the inside on it already.
Well, remember, he almost
running and watching.
He almost won the main event from the top last week. And they have this abbreviation. It's tops up here, bub. And it's tops up here, bud. That's what he's saying. So he's going to go tops up here, bud, in April.
Well, what Barrett doesn't realize was how good he was last week on the high side. That groove was nothing, Barrett, like it's going to be. There was really nothing out there, and you guys that made it work were very impressive. Wait until you feel that high side when we dial that thing in. You'll feel like you can drive it wide open up there.
Well, the laps continue to wind down, 11 to go, and Sean Reynolds has clicked off some very fast laps, but it has not been enough to run down Ryan Reynolds, who maintains about three or four car lengths here. It's about 0.7 of a second. They're going to put another lap on Chris Earls here. 10 to go, race fans, 10 to go.
Yeah, and I was thinking that Sean might be able to just crack down on the lead a little bit. You see the gap shrinking just a little bit right there, but they're really running the same line, identically prepared cars, so that's going to be difficult to run him down.
Going to be difficult, but it can be done. We still have a long way to go. Sean Reynolds, that was such a great points battle last year with Sean Reynolds winning by 1 marker. And we come into 2021 and Ryan Reynolds says, nope, I'm gonna take that back. So that's about as close as you can get for identically prepared cars, 1 point apart in the standings last year, Kenny. That's pretty amazing.
What'll be interesting with their late models, one has a Hamkey, the other has a Pathfinder. Pretty different cars, so I'm kind of anxious to see who thinks they've got the better car there. 05 racer, who do you think that would be, Steven, that just chimed in?
That'd be Cabe McClenny.
Spray all the way to the 4th lane. Cabe knows that I do that sometimes on Friday. I'll put it clear up by the wall, and don't be surprised, Cabe, if we jump from an extreme bottom to an extreme top trap. Frank's pointing at someone again here. I think it's lap traffic.
Yeah, 77 to Nick Thompson here as we've got 6 to go. And by the way, Calvin Hedgie wonders when your next modified race is. That'll be next Saturday, right?
Next Saturday, yeah. That's our first one out of the gate. Dean Gray is on the camera himself, so we'll find out how well Dean counts. He's supposed to go to the leader at lap 30 here, so I'm sure Dean will do that. He'll get the leader for us. Looks like Frank's letting everyone know there's 5 laps to go, Steven.
Yeah, he's giving us a great view of the 88 of Chris Earls. And now he's gathered up and hey, he's doing a great job. Oh, trouble. Oh. And this changes everything. Hold the phone with 5 to go. Nick Thompson has spun in nice ride turn. And with 5 to go, we bring the Reynolds back together. The law firm of Reynolds, and Geiger are going to duke it out here at Madera Speedway.
Now, if this were the summer months, we would talk about how much the shadows in Turn 1 and Turn 3 would help the high side. It's not the summer months. That track's cold. The air temp's dropping. So I don't think that'll be an advantage. But what will be an advantage is Sean Reynolds' elbows way up in the air. And if he doesn't get loose on the entry of the first lap, first lap going into Turn 1, he may have a shot at a big run down the back straightaway to fight his brother. This is going to be interesting now.
And we see our hobby stocks getting into their proper race place for their main event coming up right after this. And quite a variety of equipment. You got some tube frame cars. You got some stock frame cars. You got a truck in there. It's all over the map. And I got to love the ingenuity and the variety there in that class.
Stephen, let me jump in here. Frank Cunningham said, be nice if it was dirt. Maybe there was another comment above. Frank, let us know. What are you talking about, Madera? They did it at Bristol. Why wouldn't we do it next year? A couple weeks of dirt racing here, Stephen. You and I both love dirt racing, right?
I like dirt. I like it all.
Yeah.
But I have to be honest that I like Madera the way it is.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't get it permanently make it dirt.
I'm like a Baskin-Robbins 31 flavors type of guy.
Well, I could do a dirt track in the infield for micros. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I know. I have thought about that. That would fit perfectly between your K-rails. But right now, we got to see who's going to fit perfectly in victory lane of the Reynolds boys. Ryan in the 33. Sean in the 10. You got the green one and the orange one. He got a shot from Geiger. Backs it into the corner.
Here comes the run. Steve in the 10 car I was talking about down the back straightaway. If he can hold pace through the corner and come out side by side start-finish line, he may have a fighting chance here, but right here is what I'm talking about. If he gets loose on entry, it'll be trouble.
Wow,
nope.
It was 11 1/1000ths between the Reynolds with 4 to go. Now, the place where the 10 of Sean Reynolds gets the momentum is the exit of 2. On the previous lap, Ryan got that shot from Geiger that got him all out of sorts, but with a clean run out of the corner, he's able to answer back, and with a mile of racing to go, he's starting to step away from Sean Reynolds.
And look at Haley Bugg, all kinds of pressure on the 58 car right now. She really improved from last year. She was very impressive in these club races and doing a really good job maintaining the top 5.
2 to go, 2 more laps around Madera Speedway. It's 2-horse race at the moment. Ryan Reynolds and Sean Reynolds there on your screen again. The green 33 of Ryan Reynolds. The 10 with the blue and the orange on there, Sean Reynolds. They'll see the white flag from fearless Frank McBee. And it's still definitely not over. I wonder if there's any kind of home run ball in the tank. Sean Reynolds just ran the quickest lap of this entire main event and is tapped right up onto the back bumper of the 33 of Ryan Reynolds. But Ryan Reynolds has the right stuff, and he wins it. Here on Short Track TV, Sean Reynolds again, the quickest lap of the main event on the final lap of the race. He found something there late. Geiger will be in the win place and show for Geiger. Tim Kammerer fourth, Haley Bugg, Dave Lander, Nick Thompson, Chris Earls. And we'll be hearing from our top 3 before we go into our hobby stocks.
Race fans, what did you guys think of that for good, clean racing? Pam Silva chimed in. Pam picked up our new squirrel blinker. Filet mignon. All right, we're going to get hungry here. We're going to get Steven talking about favorite foods at tracks and whatnot. But what did you guys think of that race? Mini Super Toyotas, they do a great job. I can't wait to see these 2 Reynolds boys in the late models. In addition, they're still going to keep running the MSTs as well. Very, very impressive.
Good stuff. We'll get to hear from them here in just a moment here on Short Track TV. And a reminder to please like and share this video. We've gone above 50 likes. We're on 52 now. And we will have some of our sponsors and partners to thank here in just a moment here from Madera Speedway.
$51.50 apparel. Lifestyle with a purpose.
Is that your stomach growling? Or the sound of thousands of horsepower circling the track? Fuel up for race day with Mission Foods. Supercharge your taste buds with fast and easy-to-create recipes that are winner circle delicious. Try some of our mouth-watering tacos to piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. Start those engines because Mission has you covered from the green flag to the checkered flag. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
Hey race fans, are you a fan of grassroots racing? Would you like to see more content from behind the scenes at the Madera Speedway? If so, you need to check out our YouTube channel, Short Track TV. Short Track TV is where you will find the behind the scenes action with documentaries of the race car drivers, old race footage, and other exciting and fun content from the Madera Speedway. Go to Short Track TV and subscribe today and enjoy some more great content from the fastest 1/3 mile in the West, the Madera Speedway. Race fans, please support the brands that support our sport. NutUp Industries and NutUp.com is the primary sponsor of these free live streams for our fans to enjoy. Please go to NutUp.com and enter the code MAVTV20 for a 20% discount on all of their great, healthy almond snacks. Please visit NutUp.com and support the brands that support our sport by entering MAVTV20 for a 20% discount to say thank you for this free live stream tonight.
Well, we want to welcome you back to Madera Speedway, and we're down here with our modified Super Toyota winner, Ryan Reynolds. And, hey, Ryan, how critical was it to get a good run on the bottom coming out of Turn 2 to hold off Sean Reynolds?
Yeah, he was really strong on the high side. My car was rolling the center really well. I just didn't have the drive off like he did. So once I got that really good roll in the center, I was able to clear him. It made the world of difference, and I was able to open the line up and run a better line, so I wasn't pinching him down so much. But he was really strong on the high side, so he gave me a battle. Coming out of Turn 4, I didn't realize he was that close to me. It kind of shocked me when he was that close. But it was a good race between us and good race between everybody. Definitely fun to be back at the track.
You guys had a great battle last year. What's it going to take to come out on top this year?
I'm going to say a little bit of luck because we're pretty competitive. So I'm going with luck on that one.
Hey, I've got a question for you, talking about going with luck on it and talent from both of you guys. I know you've both got late models we were talking about a little bit ago. How competitive will you two be against each other in the late models once you get rolling there?
Oh, just as competitive. We're going to race each other just as hard as we do in the MSTs. The goal is, get both cars fast and hopefully we move, further to the front and then battle it out from there. The goal is just try and get both cars fast and work on them.
Well, a great drive, and go celebrate that one, buddy.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a good one.
Hey, how about that? Good stuff there from Ryan Reynolds. And we could probably start announcing at some point for the modified Super Toyotas, well, we got a Reynolds in victory lane, and we'd be right most of the time. But I'm sure Patrick Geiger would like to flip the script on that at some point throughout 2021.
If you want to see 3 really clean race cars, too, go down and look at any one of those in the pits. Beautiful race cars.
Well, we bring along our driver who won the championship last year, second place tonight for Sean Reynolds. And I guess after that great points battle last year, you had to give this one to Ryan Reynolds today, huh?
Yeah, I had to give him one, a little payback for me, I guess, for him.
Now, you guys had the outside line working very well. Did you have a thought that maybe that might work out for you there on that last restart?
I was really hoping it would. I was sailing it in there, but he got a little bit of a bump from Patrick at that start and just gave him that little bit of an edge to keep me from being able to hold him down.
Now, we were asking Ryan about this, and we'll ask you as well. How much are you looking forward to getting into these late models and battling?
I'm really looking forward to it. It looks the competition's steep, and we're really looking forward to getting in there.
And tell us who you'd like to thank.
I'd like to thank everybody, my girlfriend Wiley, my family, my mom, dad, brother, Ken Coventry for setting the cars up, and Kenny for having us out, and everybody works at the track.
Hey, a great drive there for Sean Reynolds coming home in second. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. And then, guys like Ryan Reynolds and Sean Reynolds, Kenny, they live for competition, and they're going to find a lot of it in the late models. Even this club field tonight is quite impressive. And at a lot of tracks that I go to throughout the year, what we have here today for the club late models would be a full-blown, main event with a full-packed grandstand at a lot of places across the country. So those guys, I think they're going to fit in well with that. As we bring on our driver who finished in third today, Patrick Geiger, and you had kind of a front-row seat for all that battling there. How much were you looking forward to an opportunity to find a way to get to the front there?
I tried everything I could on that last little bit. I gave Ryan a push, hoping that I could edge out Sean, but those guys are super fast. It's hard to do.
And tell us who you want to thank.
My wife and my daughter for making it here. They had a cheer comp, and they raced here as soon as it was over to make sure they made the main event, and I appreciate them being here. They mean a lot to me.
Well, that was an awesome drive. How about it for Patrick Geiger coming home in third here at Madera?
Yeah, I think Patrick's you're like I was saying before, you go down and look at any of those cars, Steven, his cars are beautiful, meticulous. And the business he's in with the painting, everything that he does is super clean. The Reynolds boys, same way. Really classy, good-looking cars. Whoops, Dean's swinging around there. I'll go there. You'll hear that microphone open. I've got some mics open. Our speed shots past the flag stand there, so you fans can hear when the cars come by. I'll jump over this way. You'll hear a little bit of wind. It's a little windy out there. Should die down. We'll go over here to Dean's camera. He's already on point. Dean's really figured this thing out. I saw a nice smooth transition off of turn 4. He's not bad, Zach. Yeah, give him 3 years. Zach said, Dean, when you're watching this tomorrow on your big screen TV, I know you can't hear me right now, so I'll just talk to you on the broadcast. Zach said, you're progressing enough in 3 years you could take his job.
Want to say hello to Garland Tyler tuning in, and they've got a late model being put together in the garage. Saw that photo on Facebook. So I'm sorry, Kenny, but it's 7 o'clock, and it's definitely way past dinner time. So I got to ask people on YouTube, what are you having? What are you eating right now? What are you eating right now? If you are, and if you're not, well, grab something and tell us what it is. What would you be snacking on right now at the races? And if you're not, what's your favorite racetrack food? We can't wait to welcome you all back here to Madera Speedway.
Let me jump in. Pam Silva, before it goes away, she said, I'm a little confused. They're having filet mignon, but they also just bought a new squirrel gun. So I'm hoping they're not having squirrel side with the filet mignon.
I think the squirrel was trying to steal a little bit during their barbecue, and they took him out.
Yeah, I posted a picture last night of some pork chops I did, and it's amazing how it lights up the internet. I think we ought to just do our own food network. It's so much fun.
Well, my wife said, hey, this year on Easter, please, no more ham, something different. I said, well, and I'm not as good as the Georgia boy here, but I've gotten pretty good at making ribs. And so I told her I'm making the ribs, and her face lit up. She was excited. So I've been put on the ribs duty for Easter Sunday. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Trying to get John Williams to get some lights turned on here. John's legally blind, so it may not be very dark out there to John right now.
Yeah,
Frank's pointing to him. You know, John drove, he won his main event before we went on air tonight. Mini stocks that we're putting together here. We're using the CVMS, Central Valley Mini Stock Rule Book.
Yep, good rule book.
Yeah, we've got another car coming out next week. We've got actually 3 cars coming from down in the desert that have built them up, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
We got a friend from Australia who's eating a tri-tip right now.
Wow. What time is it in Australia?
Yeah, I know. That's a good question. All right. So we're going to run through our lineup, get those comments in there. We'll give you a shout-out live on the air after we run through this lineup. And we might as well let Dean know at some point. I like to go worst to first here. So we're going to start at the back, car 86. And we may have noticed throughout the day that car during practice and qualifying kept pulling into the infield. I never got to talk to the driver because he's part of our crew here at Madera. And that is Rick Lee in car number 86. Great red, white, and blue hobby stock. And then we move on to a racer that's moving up from the mini cups. We got 2 of them doing that today. We just saw in the junior late models a pretty good performance from Rebecca Doobie. Now we're going to get to see the driver who just relocated to Madera, California in that hobby stock truck for Wiley X Eyewear, the 2K of 15-year-old Harley Keneally. Then we go to the 42 ride of Manny Gonzalez Jr. in the Driven Animosity, number 42. And next to him, the number 21 in the Midstate Roofing, Row Environmental entry. He originally hails out of the Bass Lake area. How about it for Nick Rowe in car 21? And then your front row on the outside, the Bakersfield visitor. Want to thank him for making the trip here to Madera Speedway, the 77 in the Dodge. You got to love the Mopower car for Mike Nix. And on the pole in the Camaro, the 07 driving for Rick Suarez is Nathan Casillas. And that is your field for the hobby stocks here at Madera Speedway.
If the heat race was any indication, we're about to see a really good race. That 77 car is fast. Nathan's very fast in the 07 car, but I think we're going to see right as soon as they drop that green flag, this is going to get intense for who wants to run up front and pace this race.
All right, let's take a look at some of the what's on the menu. Okay,
I'm hungry. Chicken tacos?
So Cade McClenny had Baskin Robbins. He likes the chocolate. Kale likes vanilla. So Ebony and Ivory over there for
Well,
the
how about
McClennies.
this one, Zach? We're barbecue boys. So you've got Ronnie Roberts. We had barbecue pork brisket, scalloped potatoes for dinner. Huh. We might have to go compete with him. That sounds good, huh? Yep.
Davey Munoz, a steak with shrimp and rice. That's pretty good.
Oh, and a cold beer after 8 months. He fell off. There he went.
Uh-oh.
Davey will be hung over after half a beer. Poor guy.
Russell says that he likes to go to the racetrack and have 10 mini tacos with a cup of nacho cheese. So my question to that, Russell, is where? Where do they serve a plate of 10 mini tacos? And I'll be there. Let's see. Barbecue pork brisket and scalloped potatoes for Ronnie Roberts. Mike Lowen says, where's the late models? Next. They're the main event, the finale tonight. Rod Carsey, burgers and hot dogs. I feel like I've seen that post from Rod before. He cooks a lot of burgers and hot dogs here on YouTube. And Ricky Nelson, I think I've seen this post as well. Peanuts and a 5150 grape. Sounds good. Hey, some Mission Street Taco Tortillas for Shelly Smith. Thank you for doing that.
All right, Zach. Steven's going to do the rest of the show by himself. We've got to go eat.
That's fine. Just bring me the leftovers.
That
you know
sounds
what?
So good.
There's nothing I'm hungrier for than this late model main event. I'm serious. I'm looking forward to that. And that's going to be a good one.
The way that heat race finished, almost 3 wide. Howard Holden, Matt Erickson, and Austin Herzog in the heat race. I wish we had that recorded for you. It was, what was the margin of victory there?
I have it here. It was 28 1,000ths of a second.
Wow.
Now, that's not going to beat the 7 1,000ths last week for Cale McClenny. I don't know if our camera guy, Zach, saw the photo that Jason Wedehays got of that finish, but I'm going to show it to him here because it's absolutely crazy. Jason Wedehays outdid himself with that photo. And, you know, Cale McClenny runs the new style body that has, I guess you'd call it a splitter on the front, and Polhemus with the old, ABC style body. It was almost like the Cars movie where just the tip of his tongue was sticking out. And that's all that he won by. As you got something for us there, Kenny?
No, I was just smiling at Lucy. Lucy Carmona, she runs the spotter stand. There's so many young ladies that run the spotter stands as officials.
Yeah, Becky McBride, of course.
Absolutely famous for it. And Lucy, we nicknamed her the Sarge. And I was smiling because she's over right now. Double up, get in line. She's pointing them, and she's got them doing everything but push-ups over there in the spotter stand right now. She's doing a great job.
We got somebody on YouTube that eats a McRib, and I was wondering for Zach, who's a barbecue connoisseur.
What?
Yeah,
No.
of all the things you can eat, they're eating McRibs.
A McRib is for Wednesday when you're in a hurry.
Yeah, not on a Saturday on a race
Saturday.
day. No.
Look what we've got going down the back straightaway, the 07 car and 77, and race fans look for an intense start and a big battle for the lead right away.
You got your fast time qualifier on the pole, your heat race winner on the outside. We're off and running from Flaggy Frank, and we see the green flag into turn number 1, hobby stock style, for a 30-lap contest here from Madera, California. And the outside line was real nice in the modified Super Toyotas, but the Mopar, the 77, and Nick's not really loving the top at the moment.
No,
Lap
Nick's
1, yep.
I was going to say, Nick's is really falling back. I was surprised, and boy, was I wrong on that start.
Yeah, lap 1's going to go to Casillas in the 07. We're side by side between the 21 of Rowe out of Bass Lake, now residing in Fresno. Trouble. Problems for Casillas. And Casillas had a big stumble in 3 and 4 in the heat race that led to some contact between himself and the 77, and now he comes up in the middle of 3 and 4 yet again. So maybe something was starting to fail internally on that car in the heat race. Maybe something in the rear end or something like that, and now it's reared really bad here in the main.
What a shame, but that changes the complexion of this race in a hurry. I thought there would be a battle. I figured the 07 would get out, and then the 77 car of Nick's would run him down, and we'd have a heck of a battle for the win. But that completely went out the window with that mechanical failure on the 07 car.
Yeah, and they're going to rank Nick's as the second place car the lap prior on Rowe. And so that means that Nick's will get to restart as the race leader. And I think the driver this puts in the catbird seat is the 42 of Manny Gonzalez Jr., who has been kind of mired in the field around the 4th spot in his heat race, 4th in qualifying. But he's going to restart 3rd from, Nope, but thank you for that, Zach. He's going to restart third on the inside of row 2, and Zach was offering me a hamburger or something, but I am calling a race here to the short track TVs. That'll come later. I think Gonzalez could play a spoiler from that third spot.
2 to go. You know what? Barrett was on the high side of that finish, and he says, where can I see a picture of that finish? I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I have it on Twitter.
You have it on Twitter?
Yeah.
So he can go there, or Barrett, what we could do is have Steven pull it up, and I'll put it in front of one of the cameras here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll pop the lights up and show you here.
Yep. Pretty spectacular stuff. But, that's kind of a shameless plug for my Twitter, I guess.
Well,
at Stephen Blakesley for the West Coast Motorsports News.
There's the shameless plug.
There you go. I had to do it. If you're going to give me a leash, give me an inch, I'll take a mile. This is California, right? All right. So the 77 in Nix, and he's picked the bottom here on row. And we'll see what Nix can do. He's had this car for a while. It's been a steady car for him, and he's been pretty competitive here over the years. We're back underway. And they're scoring this as 2 laps scored complete, and notably, Casillas is back in the race.
That's
so
interesting.
We'll see what he does.
See if he can close the gap and run the leader down. Now he's playing the chaser instead of being the chasee. But I wonder if the car's running as well as it was, or if it's still mechanically impaired right now.
Well, so far so good for Manny Gonzalez from that advantageous inside position. Gets around Nick Rowe, takes over second, and now Casillas. So far not really showing any signs of trouble as he's side by side with Rowe. And you know, it's interesting, I was talking to the Meade camp, and they were having a problem with the gauges on their car. The fuel gauge was bouncing back and forth uncontrollably. They couldn't figure out what their car was doing, and maybe Casillas saw something alarming on the gauges, and Rick Suarez said, give her a go, and he's making a run through the field as the 21 has fallen back to the 4th spot.
Yep, we're at the mercy of Dean. I'm actually normally, during the MAV TV shows, I'm guiding the cameramen and moving them from car to car, battle to battle. We move them around, but right now Dean is on his own. We've got 1 moving camera, 2 on the flag stand. I've got 1 flashing and blinking, so we're going to have to go give it a little bit of attention so I can use it. And then 1 up here in the booth for you guys today on Short Track TV for 4 camera shots.
Well, Casillas made the pass, and we were wondering if that car is at full song. I think the answer is no, because now that car is fading, and the 21 of Rowe will overhaul him and get the 3rd spot back here on lap number 7. So that's been a bit of a back-and-forth battle. Passing the 07 on lap 7 for the 3rd spot is the 21 of Rowe. So if you're wondering what lap we're on here, we've just completed the 8th lap of competition here of our hobby stocks, live from Madera Speedway, Madera, California, in the breadbasket of the world, where all your fruits and veggies are grown here in Central California. And Mike Nix leads Manny Gonzalez, Nick Rowe, Nathan Casillas, Harley Keneally, and they're putting a lap on Rick Lee. And that is your rundown. We have our late models to follow here on Short Track TV. Give us a like, give us a share, and we'll see how this one plays out. And Nick Rowe has been clicking off some really good lap times, knocking about a 1/4 second a lap off of Gonzalez, and he's crawled right up onto his back bumper here on lap 10.
He's underneath Gonzalez now. A little contact. Look at Frank. Look at Frank even sees. He heard you say, ooh. Back over here, the side-by-side battle, a little bit of contact. Gonzalez not giving him much room, trying to hold him down, but Rowe just makes the pass easily there.
And they were 3 wide in lap traffic there with Rick Lee, and Nick Rowe up to second. And when you look at the lap times, he is running lap times nearly identical to Mike Nix. Now, Nix has a 5-second lead about a straightaway, so Rowe would need a caution flag, but he is showing off some speed here at the Madera Speedway, and he's really distanced himself rather quickly from Manny Gonzalez.
Rod Carsey would laugh at me and probably growl at me a little bit, but I'm wondering if Rowe's got any loose padding in that car or something he could throw out and get a caution right now.
Yeah, he needs the Robbie Gordon loose padding there on the back straightaway at Michigan right now.
Start throwing chunks out of the car, doing something. Yep. Race car drivers don't do as I do as I say.
Yeah.
Or the opposite. The officials are telling me to hush up. The 07 car has also caught Gonzalez, so even though he's not running really well, there might be something wrong with the Gonzalez car right now.
Yeah, both those cars have kind of fallen off a bit, but we have been green for a while now. We're coming up on 13 laps consecutive under green as the drivers get the cross flags from Flaggy Frank McBee. And there was the gap you saw from Nix to Rowe. And, you know, Nix being rather conservative, he's got that comfortable advantage as he puts another lap on Rick Lee, but that allowed Nick Rowe to run the quickest lap of the main event thus far at 16.389. And this go around, he clicks off another good one. So, Rowe can go 2 or 3 in a row that are real fast. And then he can't quite string together enough of those laps, I think, to run down Nix without a caution flag here. It's Nick Rowe versus Mike Nix. If you're hearing a lot of Nick versus Nix comments here with 17 down, 13 to go, the traffic is awfully thick for the 21, but they gave him a lot of room, Kenny.
Nick Rowe needs a caution flag badly right now. This could get interesting if he gets that caution. What's Frank? Frank had, he's pointing at someone. I thought he had that yellow flag in his hand that he's always got on standby, ready to go. I thought it might be going up.
Well, Harley Keneally just ran her best lap thus far of the main event. So I think being tucked in with the traffic gave her a better sense of, hey, I can hustle the corner a little bit more. There's a bit more in this truck. But it is her first time coming all the way from the mini cups. And like we said about the mini cup of Rebecca Doobie would fit on the hood. And I've seen mini cups before transported to a racetrack in the back of a pickup. And so you could literally fit her car in the tailgate of the two of the truck. So that's a big move up the ladder there, Kenny.
I can tell you from being a driver, one thing that happens is, depending on how your seat is set, the 07 car stopped. Down the back straightaway, he's rolling again, completely stopped. That was interesting, but it depends on how your vehicle is set up as far as the seat and the fenders. Dean's shopping around looking for another car there, and we've lost Frank's flag camera. For some reason, just went a little bit blurry. But it depends, too. So from a mini cup where they probably got really good vision to not being able to see real clear, they don't know. They've got to figure out where the fenders are, the passenger side where it's at. Well, let's see where Dean's shopping here. He's looking for someone else here.
Yeah, I think he's queued up on the leaders now as we're coming up on 7 to go. The question online, do we race next weekend? Yes. So all the details at racemadera.com with schedules and information. Our hobby stocks, they've kind of all fallen into their proper race place. Everyone rather spaced out around this Madera Speedway. And Mike Nix has really got to be pleased with his position. And when you're ahead by this much with 6 to go, that's when all the noises start to get louder and everything starts to be a little bit scary there, because this is a real comfortable advantage for Mike Nix, who I don't think has ever won a race here at Madera.
And I think Nix right now is the biggest thing, probably really hoping for no caution. So when the 07 car almost spun out coming off of turn 2, we almost had a caution. It was off camera. But that looks like Frank's camera's out, but we see a 5 to go from Frank. We'll have to go work on that in between these races here for you fans out there.
Yeah, I wonder, we are having those problems for Casillas, if maybe somebody shot a little bit of fluid onto the lens there.
Could be.
As this one is quickly going in the books. And again, got to continue to tip a hat to Harley Keneally. You'll notice if you're watching on Race Monitor, we lost the transponder on Keneally's car. So she is running on, I believe, the same lap as Rick Lee with 23 laps completed for her, but she's listed a few more laps down than that. But tip of the hat to her on this long green flag run, hanging in there. And Mike Nix, 2 to go. 2 more laps around Madera.
2 to go. I wonder if the rattles and bangs are getting loud right now, as you alluded to. He's nice and gently underneath the Keneally truck. Should be the white flag this time by, Stephen.
Final time around the Madera Speedway. And really want to salute all these drivers for a rather clean main event. They got another sponsor on that car, Reaper Speed Lab, on the 2 truck for Keneally. But out of turn number 4, the 77 out of Bakersfield, Michael Nix is a main event winner at Madera. The 21 of Nick Rowe. And the battle for the podium ended up tightening up to the line. It's Manny Gonzalez hangs on Nathan Casillas. And I believe we're going to say Rick Lee was the 5th place car ahead of Harley Keneally. So I'm looking forward to interviewing Mike Nix, a driver I've known for quite some time, back to my Kern County days, Kenny. So I'm really excited to have Mike Nix in Victory Lane here at Madera Speedway.
Has he always been this fast? Always been a real fast
Well,
driver?
What they do at Kern is kind of a merger of hobby stocks and pro late models. So his traditional hobby stock type car is just a little bit outmatched there.
Got it.
But he does quite well at Willow Springs when he goes there, and has had some success here at Madera, but I don't think he's ever won a main event here.
Very fast race car driver here. He has really taken to the Madera Speedway.
A great job. We'll get to hear from all 3 of them here in just a moment on Short Track TV on YouTube. You better share this one. You better like this one because it's late model time, and the late models have been exciting all afternoon. And we got some heavy hitters between Matt Erickson, Racing Jason Aguirre, Jay Julesen, Austin Herzog. It's going to be a fight, and it's coming up next for 40 laps here live on YouTube.
Yeah, even though it's just a club race, you will see them race like it's a television race from what we saw in the heat race. So not one of them wants to follow the other one. They all want to outrun each other. So it'll be very, very interesting.
Want to give a big hello to my wife and my daughter tuned in. And we call them the Roku crew because they tune in with their smart TV on the Roku. So the Roku crew having their Little Caesars and watching the race.
Should look pretty good tonight. Thank you, Roku crew, for loaning us Steven tonight. We appreciate that very much. Roku crew. Boy, that's a tongue twister.
Yeah, Roku crew.
Roku crew.
You gotta remember
Say
that
5 times real fast.
Well, so you gotta remember, I normally announce at Watsonville on Fridays, and that's our Roku crew, where it's the Taco Bravo sprint cars with the Roku crew. So we kind of all rolls off the tongue there. Taco Bravo.
Yeah, you can see that water in the infield right behind. Dean had it there for us. But from all the rain yesterday, we ended up raining out here. Watsonville rained out too, didn't they, Steve?
Yes, it did. As did Lemoore Raceway for tonight, just south of us, and Placerville north of us.
Yep. Unfortunately, the ground gets very, very moist, and it's difficult to deal with. It looks like your interview is about in place, Stephen.
Well, our victory lane interview with a driver we've known for quite some time out of Bakersfield, getting the win here in Madera, California, Michael Nix. And, buddy, how does this feel to get a hobby stock win at Madera Speedway?
Pretty good. We've been struggling for a while trying to get this car in victory lane, and, we finally got it. So it's been working hard on it. And I got to thank 10,000 RPM clutches and Mike Young Realtor, Stroker Worms, Terry Henry, and my crew guy, Jess Daigle. He's always working on that car, helping me get out here, spotting me. Did a great job. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Tell us more about this car. You got some Mopar power there, right?
Yes, it's all Mopar. It's actually a 70 Plymouth or 73 Plymouth Duster with 360 in it, so it's still all Dodge powered. Still got the Dodge suspension and everything under it. Still a torsion bar car, so it's quite a unique animal to try and get dialed in, but I think we're getting close.
Well, I think you're getting very close because you got the win tonight. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Hey, how about that for Mike Nix getting the win? And like you said, Kenny, all Mopar-powered stuff on that one. That's pretty cool.
That's really cool to see. I love it when the Fords are out. Short track racing's dominated so much by the Chevrolets, so seeing a Ford every now and then, a little bit of Mopar power, really, really neat. That's a good-looking car. It runs really well.
Yeah, I really want to talk to Nick Rowe, but he's having a powwow with his crew. I think they were close there. They had some good laps, and I think they were talking about what we can do to make this car just a tick faster. He actually was the fastest car in the main event by about 1/10 of a second, but it's about stringing those laps together, and that will come with experience, I think, Kenny.
Well, and I think when you have the fastest car, then it's about track position. You didn't get that caution, so a lot of times they'll say you can't win it on the first lap, but you sure don't want to give up that gap. But it was probably the difference in that race.
Well, we want to welcome this driver to the podium. Second place for Nick Rowe. And, Nick, it seemed like you guys had a really fast car tonight. How does it feel coming home in second?
Feels pretty good. The car's definitely dialed in. We tried a few different things and then trying to get ready for next week. Plus, to put a sticker on the car for Dad, so he hasn't been, his health's been kind of in the crapper. So, but yeah, definitely great car tonight, and thanks to Steve Schermerhorn and everybody in the pit, and we're looking forward for next week.
Can you tell us about how the car feels over a long green flag run like that, and how it's like to try to get the car to respond to that?
That car in particular kind of opens up after lap 10, so I think we're definitely gaining on the leader. I think if we had another 10 laps or so, we would have been up front, but it's just been an outstanding car since day one.
And it looks like you got a couple of sponsors on that car as well. Who do you want to thank?
I'd like to thank Rowe Environmental, Midstate Roofing, Fortney Towing for everything they do for us to allow us to come to the track.
Great drive tonight.
Thanks.
Hey, Nick Rowe coming home in the second spot. And like you said, the car came to life after lap 10, his best lap in the main event, lap 15. So he's got that pretty well diagnosed, and now it's about being there at lap 30 for Nick Rowe. So pretty good run there for the driver out of Bass Lake, now residing in Fresno. And we got one more driver we're going to talk to here, Manny Gonzalez Jr.
Last year's champion, up at the microphone now.
Hey, we got Manny Gonzalez Jr., last year's champion, running third today. And a little bit of a back-and-forth battle there with the 07 of Nathan Casillas. How much fun was that to battle with the 07 car?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Just kind of a struggling day today with looseness and tightness. Just couldn't get the car to handle right today. But I got to thank everyone that came in today. Uncle Chuck, my dad, Racing Jason and Gary, and Aaron for being able to be out here.
We want to congratulate you on a great drive out there, and sure you're going to be picking up some speed as the season goes on.
Yeah, we're going to get this car back in the shop, fix that nose piece, and try to get it back out here and get it back in victory lane.
Great job tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to thank all my sponsors, A&M Services, O'Reilly's, Backflow, Driven Animosity, and everyone that came on with us, Aaron and Elise, Grandpa, and everyone that helped out. Thank you.
Hey, Manny Gonzalez coming home in third in our hobby stocks. And you could tell they were fighting that car just a little bit, Kenny, a little bit off of where we're normally used to seeing the 42 car, but it ends with a podium finish on a rather good field for the hobby stocks. Race fans, our Madera late models, 40 laps of excitement coming up next, 40 green flag laps on the fastest 1/3 mile in the West. We're going to thank some of our sponsors, and we'll be back here to Short Track TV.
The Knockin' Doors Down autobiography by Carlos Vieira. It takes you deep into his destructive past and how racing saved his life and opened the door to give back to the community. And 100% of the sales go directly to the Carlos Vieira Foundation, an organization committed to raising awareness for addiction, mental health, and autism. And for inspiration and motivation, tune in weekly to the podcast every Thursday for real-life episodes from celebrities and local heroes. Get Knockin' Doors Down today at kddmediacompany.com or Amazon.
Through the Race to Be Drug-Free campaign, we raise awareness about the harmful effects of drugs. We educate children both inside and outside of schools about staying off of drugs and out of trouble. We also have our Gloves Not Drugs boxing program, which allows kids between the ages of 8 and 18 to come learn the art of boxing and also Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
They've taught me to become a role model to everyone else. Watch what I do when no one else is looking, do the right thing all the time.
It's been amazing. I really love the program. My favorite part is working with my team, my coaches. They made me who I am.
The program really motivates them to become a better person.
I've gotten better in school, more disciplined, and I've gotten better grades since I started this program.
Your teammates, they're not only your teammates, your family,
Kids who could potentially be doing something bad with their lives, and they can turn it into something good and positive.
Thank you for this sport, and it helped me a lot.
My first memory is fishing, honestly. We were winning trout tournaments when I was, 8, 9 years old, so it was cool. We had just come off a really, really stellar year, had 2 tournament wins. I think we got a check almost every tournament, if not every tournament. We took Angler of the Year for our region, and then we went up to Lake Oroville, and we won that TOC. Leading up to that tournament, I had started dabbling in prescription painkillers. I can remember the night before that tournament, taking a handful of pills to go to bed that night. I went 7 years of just causing mayhem, and oh my gosh, ruining every relationship I had,
If a guy's willing to share his tragedy and open up and help somebody else either avoid going down that road or pull them out of that addiction, the trickle-down effect of that is you have no idea.
The thing I like about Ryan is that he gives back to the community.
We need to keep these kids involved. We need to get them out there. We need to educate them so they can take this on and teach their kids and grandkids, because this needs to continue. Fishing has completely saved my life.
5150 Apparel. Lifestyle with a purpose.
5150 is power. The power to overcome. The power to persevere. The power to set your life on a course for success. When you're faced with the challenges life throws at you, you focus and do what is needed to go beyond what is required. So stand up, stand firm, believe, make it happen, and live through the madness, knocking doors down along the way. We are 5150.
Where you are now may not be where you came from. Sometimes you're preparing for success, and sometimes you're preparing for failure. The choices you make today may spiral out of control or spin you in the right direction. Your past doesn't define you, but the choices you make today can change your life forever. The drive can motivate you or destroy you. But you have to find a way out. Discover a riveting, real-life story of recovery that will inspire you. Believe, make it happen, and live through the madness, knocking doors down along the way. Read the true story of how Carlos Vieira nearly destroyed his life and lived to tell about it. And don't miss others telling their powerful stories on our podcast. Visit kddmediacompany.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the late model main event for the Madera late models here from Short Track TV at the Madera Speedway, Madera, California. This is our separate series from the Nut Up Pro Late Models, but a lot of the same names and faces, same rule book. A 40-lap main event is coming your way free of late model stock car racing, all green flag laps. And let's take a look at some of the drivers we have in this one. Our first car rolling to us from the back of the field, the young lady from the junior late model class in the All-Star Towing number 15. Out of Dinuba, California, the 15 car of Haley Lyles. And in car number 56, the driver, we haven't gotten to see a whole lot of this guy, the Blazing Bees Barbecue, number 56 of Brandon Bird. Car number 1, our junior late model winner, comes to us out of Quincy, Washington. It's Cash Money, Casey Klein. Car 44 on the racetrack is Mike Shapiro, and he'll be lining up with the number 7, the veteran driver, one of the most experienced and oldest drivers in late model racing in the country, Richard Herzog. And in car number 21, had a good performance this afternoon, won the third heat race, it's Aaron Mullins. Car number 44, the Jerry and Willie's Recycling entry, the 41 of Ho, Howard Holden. Car 42, our winningest late model driver at Madera Speedway, is Father Rick, working on the car up until the green flag here. In the MJ Gilbert Construction Toyota, the 42 of Matt Erickson. In the 45, the Corbin Cash Vodka Waterford Irrigation MTFX Graphics Toyota for racing Jason Aguirre. Car number 12 in the Zone Up Mead Performance Ford, Jay Julesen. And now your front row in the number 12, graduate out of the junior late models, we call him the Wild Child. Out of Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Kyle Keller. And on the pole, in car number 11, we're used to seeing him in a black car. He'll carry the white and blue colors of Blazer Swiss Lube. On the number 11 for the 2019 Nut Up Pro Late Model Champion, the third-generation driver, it's 18-year-old Austin Herzog, coming to us out of Clovis, California. That is your field for the Madera Late Models, round number 1. Pick your favorites in the comments. It's about to be showtime, Kenny.
And, Stephen, to let our fans know, on the club races, we actually start straight up, just like a cup race. Fast time on the pole, second fast, outside front row, so on and so forth. So, Jay Julesen, that 12 car, and the 12 car of Kyle Keller making big gains to be up there at the front of the field tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to this, and it's really cool that the top 3 starters of this race all come out of the junior late model ranks, and the impact of the junior late models from when they started in 2016 to today just continues to be felt here at the Madera Speedway. And I think that impact's going to be long-lasting on the entire motorsports industry. As, of course, you had Haley Deegan in the truck race today, Jesse Love running ARCA, Ryan Vargas in the Xfinity race today. I mean, heck, that's all the big series. We just need to get one of these youngsters up to the Cup level. But there's a presence of junior late model drivers up and down the motorsports ranks already here in North America.
There's several people have asked me, when will I retire from promoting? It's when one of our juniors goes up and wins the Daytona 500.
Well, I think it could happen. I think we're producing some talent there. Jesse Love is quite impressive, as we know, and we'll see if he can get there someday with his support from Toyota.
Yeah, Jesse actually ends up on he's ended up on several lists as one of the top prospects.
Yeah, Bob Pockris out of Fox had him number 5 of all non-Cup drivers in America. So that includes Xfinity, trucks, everything. Number 5 prospect, up there with Harrison Burton and Noah Gragson and people like that.
Well, you think about something also, Stephen, that's kind of, Jesse's a little bit Kyle Larson-like in the sense where he has tremendous talent. His dad came from sprint cars, dirt sprint cars. He's got the dirt background. He runs midget sprint cars, whatever. So he's kind of got a little of that Larson touch. So that probably moves his stock up a little bit behind the steering wheel.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing if anybody from this group can break out and have an impressive 2021 season. Of course, we talk about our pole sitter, Austin Herzog. 2020 was not the year you would expect from a driver of his caliber, with 6 junior late model wins, the 2019 Nut Up title, 6th in the standings in 2020, and really only because he saved his season with a couple of good runs at the end of the year, Kenny.
But he has really found some speed. He found, like you said, a little bit of speed at the end of the year. Was terrific looking last week. He's fast timed today. I think they've jumped their program around. They signed a new sponsor. Really nice deal. Tell the fans a little bit about that sponsor.
Well, that car is white and blue, and that's some cool colors for a cool sponsor. Blaser Swiss Lube. They make CNC lubricants, and it's clear like water. You could almost drink the stuff, and you can use that in your CNC machines. So if you run a machine shop and you're looking for a lubricant solution, you can support the racing here at Madera by choosing Blaser Swiss Lube. And it's no odor, it's clear, and it works really well, and great to have a new sponsor. And some of the folks involved with that company used to be involved with MAV TV, so there was a perfect tie-in there. So great to have the Blaser car on the pole.
Well, and that's the product like Titan. I'm not sure.
Titan's of CNC.
Yeah, CNC. So Titan, that's famous from television. Zach stopped by to say hi, and I'm working him. We've got a little problem with
he's got to get to work. We can't have a guy his caliber in the building without putting him to work.
Right.
Freight maybe shows him one more time around. We'll give you a recap of the starting lineup. It'll be Herzog and Keller on that opening row. The second row, Juleson and Erickson, the former teammates. Third row, Aguirre and Mullins. Fourth row, Holden and Shapiro. Fifth row, the 7 ride of Herzog getting set to go as they work their way out of turn number 4 alongside Bird, Klein, and Lyles. The junior late model stars make up the final row. Straight up start, 40 green flag laps free on Short Track TV. A pleasure to bring this one to you. They thunder down the back straightaway, pro late model style. Madera, California. Austin Herzog going to outmuscle the Wild Child and lead lap number 1.
Yep, leading lap number 1. Like you said, the junior influence is amazing, but Matt Erickson slipped up to the 3rd position. You got Jason Aguirre in 5th. So you've got 3 juniors, graduates, versus 2 of the veterans. This could become very interesting as the laps unfold.
Yeah, that 45, Jason Aguirre, we thought he might get his first TV win last week. He's got a championship in these late models, in the Club Late Model Series, as he runs 4th right now. It's Herzog, Keller, Erickson, Aguirre, and Juleson. The driver who's really impressed me today is the 41 of Ho-Ho Howard Holden with that brand new Fury car. Fast in a Fury, they like to say. He was tucked up right up against the leaders in his heat race. And that car is showing a lot of pace here early on. And he's battling with our heat race number 3 winner, Aaron Mullins. And I think that's your fast 7 tonight, Kenny, back there to Aaron Mullins.
Howard Holden nearly 3 wide, as you alluded to, in that heat race. Another one of the veterans, very fast race car. We're back up front right now with Austin Herzog clicking the laps off. I believe that was lap 5. I know our scoreboard's got a light out right there.
Yep, 5 down, 35 to go. And, Herzog, he's running qualifying laps right now. He ran a 0 in qualifying. He's running 1s here in race trim. That car is stout. In fact, just ran his best lap in the main event here on lap number 6. So again, it's Herzog, Keller, Erickson, Aguirre, and Juleson. I think the driver kind of in the middle is the 12 of Juleson. He's going to have company, I think, sooner rather than later from Howard Holden and Aaron Mullins. You see them flash by on the speed shot. And, hey, Dean Gray is right on top of that. He found that battle. The 12, the 41, and the 21. And I think that one's fixing to be good. And the battle for second is looking good as well. We got great racing all over the Madera Speedway, Kenny.
Well, and Matt Erickson, I think there's a sense of urgency right now. He needs to get by that Keller car and get rolling, trying to run down Erickson, Herzog. And if there's a caution, he definitely wants to be in that second position. So, but he's got a problem. Keller is really fast. That car rotates right there through the center, but Erickson right on his back bumper right now.
Well, Keller's rolling the bottom well, and if Erickson wants the top on a restart, he might as well show what he's got and get up there now. But he can't quite risk it because he'd lose a spot to Aguirre in the process, perhaps. So it's a risk-reward proposition for Erickson. Biden his time right now, we only have 10 down, so still 30 to go for these cars, largely powered by 602 crate motors. We do have some open motor cars in there as well. And a bit of a moment there for Racing Jason. It got a bit wild out of 4, and that gives the cushion now. Erickson might have what he needs to try the top because he'll have no risk to do that as he tucks right up underneath the wild child Kyle Keller. Aguirre's car seems like it's fading on this long run, Kenny.
Yeah, and Aguirre, I saw him kind of playing with the top of the track. He looks a little bit tight in the center. That front end is scooting tight, meaning the front wheels are sliding, not turning. But that frees up Matt Erickson to really go to work on the 12 car of Keller. Now you're not playing defense in any way whatsoever. So as Steven alluded to, he can use the entire racetrack, maybe show the 12 car some looks. But right now the 12 car looks a little bit faster than the 42 through the middle of the corner. Erickson's making up the ground on entry.
We've run through 14 laps this time by, 14 in the books. And you remember Herzog ran that 15.1 earlier. He's back down in the 15.4s, as is most of the top 10. So the times have fallen off by about a tenth or two. It's not quite the trucks in Atlanta, but the times have fallen off a little bit here under this run. There's another good battle shaping up at the back of the field with Herzog. That would be Grandpa Richard Herzog battling with Shapiro and Casey Klein. What a contrast there. 13-year-old Klein and 70-something Richard Herzog in that battle as that goes by on the speed shot there on the front straightaway. So, again, there's racing all over Madera Speedway. And Austin Herzog says, you guys keep up that battling as he begins to pull away here at Madera.
Yep, I stayed on the speed shot so you could see that battle Steven was talking about. Now we're going to jump back on that battle. Best on the track right now for second place. Very impressed with Kyle Keller. Erickson about won that race last week, the big $5,000 to win season opener, and Keller is holding him up. But don't look now. Jason Aguirre adjusted the line, and he has crawled right back on the back bumper of Matt Erickson.
Yeah, Erickson got to start on the outside of Vieira with 5 to go, led the 96th lap of that main event, and then swung wide, and it all went wrong from there. But he was within 4 laps of being the winner of that $5,000 opener. And you got Keller out of Vegas, the young driver, who has a Challenge Cup win here at Madera, and he's doing a great job fending off Matt Erickson. That is no easy task. Now, one thing you got to remember is we see the cross flags from Fearless Frank McBee in the starter stand. One thing you got to remember is we emphasize to Michael and the whole gang here, no contact or very limited contact. So if this was a nut-up race, I think Erickson would have disposed of Keller by now, but he can't really do the bump and run on these club nights, Kenny.
Well, about the only exception would be, let's say Erickson's up front and it's Herzog and Erickson, 2 TV guys, winning TV guys. They give them just a little more rope, but these are club races. Again, instead of golf clubs, we're playing with steering wheels. We don't want cars fixed after these races. We want gentleman-style racing, but I still would suspect Erickson doesn't want to finish third. He'll get a little bit busy here before this is over.
Man, the way they're sliding up off of 4, you can see how aggressive. Look at Kyle Keller kicking the rear end out, sliding the wheels.
Yeah, and one thing, Keller's been under so much pressure. He's starting to spin the right rear tire. He's giving that up. Even though he's fast, you're going to see it off the exit of 4 here. That car will become more and more loose each time, and that will, Dean's moving for us there. We wanted to watch it. Dean's wanting to pick up.
Oh, that's a good battle
back here. Yeah, he's got Klein, and And Grandpa Herzog, well, at least there's not 3 Herzogs. You know what happened last time all 3 of them were together, right?
Yeah, they were.
Turkey.
Yeah, they were busy pointing fingers. All 3 of them felt like turkeys after that one. As Richard Herzog trying to hold on to the 8th spot. Brake rotors glowing on Mike Shapiro's car. If that's a sign that he has been rather conservative in riding the brake, trying not to run over Grandpa. And don't look now, but this great battle for second is going to involve lapped traffic in a moment. And that can always throw a monkey wrench, especially for a young driver like Keller. That's where a veteran might be able to outfox the youth and the youthful exuberance with that veteran experience here. A pair of lap cars with 13 to go.
Yep, you've got Haley Lyles and Brandon Bird are the next 2 targets. Austin Herzog's already worked and navigated through that traffic. And like you said, Matt Erickson right now, Jason Gary as well, those veterans, they're chess players. Let's see what Frank's pointing them out. Let's see. Erickson's not able to close in too much good rotation through the middle of the corner, but that Keller car is really impressive right now. He's got about equal speed as Erickson.
The other 12 car, Jay Juleson, who made the redraw last week in that very strong field for the $5,000 to win Nut Up Pro Late Model season opener. He has remained within arm's length of this trio. And I wonder if he's not just deliberately giving himself a car length in case things get wild there, as he's a former teammate of Matt Erickson, getting a front row seat of these guys duking it out. Erickson there, they've cleared the first of the lap cars, the 56 of Bird, and Erickson was not able to take advantage of that yet. Meanwhile, Mike Shapiro just tried to make a move on Richard Herzog right in front of grandson Austin. Shapiro spins, and Austin and Richard were having triple
turkey memories.
Yeah, triple turkey deja vu there, as that's almost like Roku Crew. That's tough to say.
Yeah.
Turkey triple open flashbacks there, but it'll keep Richard Herzog on the lead lap, and we get our first caution on lap number 30. Boy, that was some fast and furious late model racing. Fans, if you loved that, let us know in the comments or press the thumbs up, because I enjoyed that, Kenny. That was good stuff.
Well, and I'm going to enjoy this next restart. Now, what Erickson, that's why he needed to get past that 12 car of Keller. Erickson's the king of the outside, driving that thing off into turn 1. Big run down the back straightaway. The problem is Erickson will be second row inside instead of front row outside. So now I'm really interested to see what Keller does on this start. Does he wheel it in there? He runs the top fairly well. Does he wheel it in and take a shot, or does he hunt and look for the bottom to defend Erickson? Because this will really change what will also happen here. If I'm Matt Erickson, I'm thinking I want to clear Keller as rapidly as possible, and I don't want that 11 car. He's been really smooth, kind of running his own race. I want to get on his bumper and pressure him, and let's see if we can find a bug in that car and get it loose, get it tight, find out something here. 10 to go. Matt Erickson's signature. Anyone that's watched the MAV TV shows, Matt, how many times, Steven, has he been nowhere to be found? Last 10 laps, 100 lapper, he appears in the top 5. The last restart, he's fighting for the lead.
Well, and that's how we knew he was going to be a factor last week, is he was in the top 5 from the 5th row by the break. And that's when you know it's trouble for the field. If he's in the position that early, that means he's got all the time in the world. He doesn't have to hustle the car, because he's really good at being there at the end. And they're getting him all crossed up here. We'll see. I'm pretty sure Herzog will pick the bottom, but he has the choice, just so you know, for the fans at home that have never seen one of our events before, Kenny. And by the way, for next week's program here on Short Track TV, it's the Smoky Hanoian Classic. We'll have the 602 Pro Modified Series, the Madera Late Models, Hobby Stocks, Modified Super Toyotas, Toyota Sedans, Mini Stocks, Legends of the Pacific, if they bring anything like they had last week. They had 35 cars last week, Kenny. Junior Late Model Exhibition and Legends of Kearney Bowl. Man, you've got a big plate of food and racing there for Outback, I hope. Because that's going to be a lot of work for that guy. That's a great event.
That's why he's off tonight, resting his voice.
Yeah, that's a great event next week, Kenny.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. And then the week after that is our round 2 of the Nut Up Pro Late Model Series, 5150 Junior Late Model Series.
Yeah.
A couple of comments out here. Dylan Zampa chimed in. Hey, Kenny, I think I'm pretty good on the top. You're darn good on the top.
Come back and prove it. We want to see you here April 3rd.
Matt has been, he's won so many races on the top, and he will drive it in until there's a little bit of an image of Elvis down there appearing in that Madera Speedway sign. That's how far Matt will drive it in. So Dylan's, how you feeling, Dylan? Dylan came up and visited us for Kylie's 18th birthday. I don't know if you saw the pictures.
Yeah,
of that.
I did.
You a little better tonight, Dylan? He ended up like we said, 3 flats and a bent sway bar, and it wasn't on his race car that night.
I think his race last week went pretty well. I believe he was in the top 5. So
top 3, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did. Yeah, he did well. So
he's a good kid. Remember we went back to Hickory with him? What a lot of fun!
That was
a
great.
Wonderful trip.
That was wonderful.
Doubling up. That means 2 to go. Frank's got a mouthful of sunflower seeds, and he's not growling too bad. You see all the cool artwork on his helmet there. He's tapping looks like a Metallica drummer, picking that beat up with that flag, tap, tap. He's ready to go, Zach. Ready to go. Let's see what we get here. Should be 1 to go. Looks like 1 to go. And now let's see what that 42 does, how much he glues himself to the back bumper of the 11 car of Austin Herzog. And if I'm Kyle Keller, I do like Dylan Zampa would do. Dylan, I'm sure you're going to drive that thing in a mile if you're Keller. There's enough out there you can try and win. There's some rubber out there. Let's see what they do right now.
Getting ready to go. Herzog inside. Keller outside. A very strong row 2 of Erickson. Aguirre. Good start for Kyle Keller. He's got to do all he can from the top. He'll grab every handful he can, and that allows Herzog to pull away because Erickson could not take advantage. Keller kind of putting the block on Erickson with that maneuver. Herzog pulling away with 9 to go.
Now Keller's committed to the top. He's stuck on the top. But Erickson's got to clear the Keller car as fast as possible to have any opportunity to run down the 11. The other major reason you've got to clear that 12 car is you want to be second if there's another caution.
Well, Kyle Keller told me he was here to make practice laps to get prepared. He wants to run the full season this year. He wants the championship this year. Well, running on top alongside of the 42 at Erickson, that is a great experience for that young driver, but now it's starting to come off the rails a bit. Meanwhile, Howard Holden has gotten around Juleson for 5th. There's a bit of a gap there. We'll see if Keller's spotter, if Aaron doesn't guide him behind Aguirre here, and he'll end up in 4th. 6 to go, open racetrack for Erickson, and he has not made up any ground on Austin Herzog. In fact, the last time around, Herzog 2/10 quicker than Matt Erickson. That is impressive.
5 to go this time by. Looks like Frank will give them the 5 to go hand signals. Erickson's got a lot of ground to make up. Keller and Aguirre, big fight. Aguirre's pushing in the center of the corner. That car's going up. He's having to move and use the top side of the track. That's opening the door for young Kyle Keller again.
Well, that happened.
Turn two, Steven. Sorry.
Oh, the 56 of Brandon Bird, a solo spin, a caution, and it's as if Matt Erickson scripted it perfectly. Wasn't hustling the car, wasn't making up any ground on Herzog, and now he's got a ton of race car left and the outside line. Woo. With 5 to go. Buckle up on your recliners, race fans on Short Track TV. This ought to be a stock car race, and Kyle Keller just ran all those laps on the top. He's going to get to restart behind Erickson. Don't be surprised if he can't follow him and might have learned something up there, Kenny.
Well, and Matt Erickson actually on the high side with the sun out won his heat race against Austin Herzog.
Yeah, by 28 1/1000. It was pretty exciting.
6-7 inches, something like that.
Yeah, it was exciting.
So Matt Erickson will absolutely drive this car in a mile on this start. So fans out there in Short Track TV land, who's going to win this thing? Is it Matt Erickson on the top? Or is it Herzog on the bottom? Or is it maybe a car in the second row after those two go hammer down together?
Yeah, the other thing I'm looking at is Howard Holden got around Jay Juleson, but that puts Juleson on the outside of row number 3. I think that whole top 6 has speed. Really impressed. We like to say fast in a fury for Ho-Ho Howard Holden. That car is performing very well today, and he's got to be very pleased with that.
Yep, very, very impressive. A lot of really nice equipment. A lot of good work went into these cars in the off-season. So Frank McBee gives them the 1 to go with 5 to go.
Man, oh man, this is why we love bringing you the racing here. Even this Club Late Model Series is some of the best stock car racing in the West. And we got a couple of champions up there at the front of the pack. Who is going to come out on top? We're about to find out as they work their way out of turn number 4. A great restart for Herzog. Can Erickson get the run through 1 and 2? That's the end of the racetrack that Snake bit him last time.
Here comes Erickson. Big shot down the back straightaway. Big run. Let's see how he rolls through 3 and 4. If he can hold the momentum on the exit of 4, it's been a little bit difficult. This is going to get busy down here in turn 1.
Wow, and Frank McBee telling them to use their heads. Erickson leads lap 36 by just 29 1/1000ths of a second and clears him out of turn number 2. Matt Erickson, that might have just been the winning move.
Jason Aguirre got into the back of the 11 car of Herzog just slightly in the middle of the corner, upset the car. That was enough for Erickson to crawl by. He's not running away. That 11 car is fast. It looks like we'll have 2 to go this time by, Stephen.
It's Erickson, it's Herzog, Aguirre, and Keller. That was Holden and the 12 of Juleson side by side for 5th on camera there. White flag coming up next time. Herzog is very good on the bottom. He is tucked up right on the back bumper of Erickson. He's got something to prove. He wants to come back at Erickson. Contact out of 4. White flag. This one's not over.
Herzog taking a look off of turn 2's where the move might be. It rotates a little bit better. Erickson's a little bit loose. Herzog coming to the inside. Incoming this time by down in turn 3.
Erickson protects the bottom. Another bump and run there from Herzog. Can he cut to the bottom in the Blaster Swiss Loop car? No. It's going to be the 42 of Matt Erickson by half a car length. One more lap and Herzog wins that main event perhaps. A classic duel, puts everything from last week to bed and throws that in the history books. And these guys worked it out in very sportsmanlike fashion. Excited to hear from your finishers here as Matt Erickson wins round number 1 of the Madera late model season on Austin Herzog, racing Jason Aguirre, Kyle Keller, and how about Jay Juleson outfoxes Howard Holden for the 5th spot. Then Aaron Mullins, Casey Klein, Richard Herzog, Haley Lyles, your top 10. Then Brandon Bird, Mike Shapiro, and Jeff Mead did not accept the green flag for this one, and can't wait to bring you these victory interviews after this here on Short Track TV. Don't go anywhere.
$51.50 apparel. Lifestyle with a purpose.
Is that your stomach growling or the sound of thousands of horsepower circling the track? Fuel up for race day with Mission Foods. Supercharge your taste buds with fast and easy to create recipes that are winner circle delicious. Try some of our mouth-watering tacos to piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. Start those engines because Mission has you covered from the green flag to the checkered flag. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
Hey race fans, are you a fan of grassroots racing? Would you like to see more content from behind the scenes at the Madera Speedway? If so, you need to check out our YouTube channel, Short Track TV. Short Track TV is where you will find the behind the scenes action with documentaries of the race car drivers, old race footage, and other exciting and fun content from the Madera Speedway. Go to Short Track TV and subscribe today and enjoy some more great content from the fastest 1/3 mile in the West, the Madera Speedway. Race fans, please support the brands that support our sport. NutUp Industries and NutUp.com is the primary sponsor of these free live streams for our fans to enjoy. Please go to NutUp.com and enter the code MAVTV20 for a 20% discount on all of their great, healthy almond snacks. Please visit NutUp.com and support the brands that support our sport by entering MAVTV20 for a 20% discount to say thank you for this free live stream tonight.
Well, welcome back to Madera Speedway, Short Track TV. Matt Erickson picking up the win in an exciting run to the finish with Austin Herzog. And Matt, you guys have had a couple of close battles the last couple of weeks. What did it take to outfox the 11 tonight?
I just
drove the heck out of it. I learned it with Carlos at the TV race, and even though the track was green, it's good for about 3 laps up there. Once I was cleared, I protect the bottom. Car's a little tight center off there. He gave me a couple love taps, but I expect that from them. It's just hard racing, but we finally pulled it off. It's great to be back in victory lane after missing it for 2 years.
Now, you guys normally have really good long-run cars, and that was a pretty long green flag run there at the start of the race. How did your car respond to that?
Car pretty much stayed balanced throughout the whole race. I made a little adjustment inside at that last yellow there, which paid off. We still got some homework we got to do to be in contention for a TV race and a couple more wins, but we're going to go back and look at our notebooks and try to make it a lot faster.
And tell us who you want to thank, buddy.
Got to thank MJ Gilbert Construction, Sign Depot, AR Bodies, even though it's a 5-star on this car. Just my dad and everybody else that supports me, and the competitors for racing nice and clean, and hopefully we can continue the year doing this.
Hey, Matt, this is Kenny. I got a quick question for you, a little bit different than this race, but I'm looking forward to the April 3rd TV race. You've got a new junior in your rental car. Seems like a pretty strong talent. You've got a really fast car there. What do you foresee from Jacob Smith in that junior car this year?
Well, we'll have a surprise for everybody come back out April 3rd, so hopefully he'll be a lot faster. But I experimented with what he liked on the car. We tried it on mine. It worked. His car was second to Kiersey Young almost the whole weekend in the test before. But if we could find a couple more, a 10th or 2 there, then I think we'll be pretty good. He's got good feedback and all that, just needs a little bit of patience, and then just put that thing on the outside like I just did here and take her to the front.
Well, the way you ran that race last week, as I told Jacob, pay attention to the way you manage the race like a chess match, and you can teach him a lot. So congratulations, great run tonight. That was really exciting.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, well, Matt Erickson picking up the victory, adding to his long list of late model wins. And, we had kind of figured out that going through the, Lone Mart and Nut Up late model series, that he has something like 20-plus wins on that side. And then we got to throw in the club side. He's got to be approaching about 50 wins, and we are going to do the math on that probably before April 3rd, but he is the winningest late model driver here at the Madera Speedway. One of the winningest junior late model drivers, Austin Herzog, 6 career junior late model wins, new sponsor on the car with a new attitude and a good run. And we welcome Austin Herzog to the podium here, second place finish, and it must feel pretty good to come back from the spin at the end of the race last week and have a great battle with the 42 of Matt Erickson. What did you need to be able to win this race tonight?
If anything, I needed a little bit more drive off. It was a good battle with Erickson. Third place gave me a little bump when I didn't need it, but it was racing. I had a bunch of fun. Can't thank all my crew and my sponsors, Blaser Swiss Lube, Richard Herzog Construction, WDF Concrete. They're all a huge help, and I can't thank them enough.
Hey, Austin, this is Kenny. I've noticed a big difference in your program this year, a lot of snap in your step. You are back to winning form. What do you see for the rest of the season in the MAV TV series for your race team?
Well, we have a bunch of sponsor help, so that that never hurts. We got a couple more things that we were going to do to the race car, a couple more tools that we can use to get the car better with the money that we've gotten from sponsorship. So, I can't thank everyone enough that's helped me money-wise.
Yeah, and these club nights you can really gain. You look silky smooth out there, really fast race car, fast time tonight. Really, really good job. Who besides when you've got a big title sponsor like that, you've got plenty of room for more sponsorship. What do you see coming on board in the way of help? Do you have anything else you're working on with sponsors?
I don't have too much right now. We're just trying to focus with our relationship with Blaser and doing everything that we could do with them and seeing where that relationship can take us.
Well, Austin, we want to congratulate you on a second place finish, and we're looking forward to seeing you back here at Madera Speedway.
Thank you.
Austin Herzog coming home in second, and the one thing I really want to know from all these drivers, and I'll probably ask Jason Aguirre about it, is what do these guys need to do to find the outside the way that Matt Erickson has? It's funny. I think the 2 drivers, Kenny, that have figured out the outside the best out of this whole racetrack in the last year and a half, Matt Erickson and Bradley Erickson, ironically, both Ericksons, but not related, of course. That's Bradley, our junior late model champion from last year. And I know the outside is there, and even an experienced driver like Austin Herzog, don't know if he's quite as good on the top. He was really good on the bottom, however, so it'll be interesting to see if they can figure out the top as the season goes on. We welcome racing Jason Aguirre to the podium, a third-place finish, and kind of worked your way there up through the order. Some great battling there with Matt Erickson, with the 12 of Kyle Keller. What does it mean to your program to come back and get a third here tonight?
Stinks. We was hoping to come here and grab a win, but, some tough cars here tonight. Herzog and Erickson, and Keller's car was running good, so, we're going to have to come home third tonight. But I want to thank my sponsors, Ron and John Neidham, David Souza family, Corbin Cash, DNS Farms, Mark at MTFX Graphics, my sisters, and, everybody just helps out with this car. Steven Gonzalez with Driven Animosity. It was a good run for us. The competition here is tough. These are the guys that ran up front last week, so, we'll have to take a third tonight.
How much does it help your program to have these Madera Late Model Club nights to help you get into a groove for the TV nights?
It helps big. A lot of guys don't run these club races, but, like myself and Herzog and Erickson, we use them for tuning and we try stuff. And, we got to test some things that we wanted to do here today that kind of messed us up last week on that long run. So I was able to accomplish a couple of things today that's going to really help us on the TV night.
We want to congratulate you on running third and looking forward to seeing you back here at Madera Speedway.
Thank you.
Hey, that's racing Jason Aguirre. And like you said, the top two tonight, well, that was for a moment second and third on the racetrack in last week's Nut Up Pro Late Model race. So pretty tough to beat those two at their game. Matt Erickson, again, your winner. We'll run through our final rundown tonight one more time. Matt Erickson topping Austin Herzog. Racing Jason Aguirre, Kyle Keller, Jay Julesen, the top five. Then Ho-Ho Howard Holden, Aaron Mullins, Casey Clash. That's Casey Klein, Richard Herzog, Haley Wiles, the top 10. Then Brandon Bird, Mike Shapiro. And it did not start for Jeff Mead. Want to thank all you guys for tuning in on Short Track TV on YouTube. Want to thank our sponsors, including Nut Up Industries, 5150, Knocking Doors Down, the podcast, and the book from Carlos Vieira. Want to thank Mission and their new racing style tortilla chips. We eat Mission products almost every day at the Blakesley household and at the Shepherd household, and really excited to have them on board with our program, and thank all of you for making these broadcasts possible. We're back here live next Saturday with more Madera Late Model Racing and the 602 Pro Modifieds. And then again the following week on April 3rd for Nut Up Pro Late Models and 5150 Junior Late Models. And Kenny, want to thank you for having me here at Madera tonight for a club race. I had a great time.
It was great having you down here. Race fans that joined us on Short Track TV, thank you guys for joining us as well. We put a lot of work into these and bring them to you free of charge. As Stephen mentioned, our sponsors, Nut Up, 5150, Mission Foods, those three brands in particular is why we do this for free. Free, no cost to you guys. So share it, spread the word. Let's get more people watching these, and we'll keep them free. Make sure you support the brands that support our sport with those three big brands. Stephen, thank you very much for making the trip. It's a long trip down. We appreciate your effort here. Everyone that was watching and commented, let's see real quick before we sign off. Stephen's over here working, so I'm going to scan the boards to say thank you. Angela, Rod Carsey, Don Martin. Let's see who else. Don Martin, I'll give Blazer a try. Don, are you in the machining business? Must be. Thomas McGray. Great job, Austin. Dylan Zampa held off Fast and a Fury Buddy Shepherd on the top. Yes, you did.
Yep, you
Very
did.
Fast.
Yep.
So, Dylan, if you want to see a fast racetrack, next, one of the things we do for the top two. So, Barrett, I know Barrett was watching a little bit earlier from back in Texas. Friday night, we'll put the cones out, and we do a half hour on the high side when we spray it on Friday night. So it allows those to tune up on the high side. Stephen had mentioned Bradley Erickson. That's how he became really efficient, working the high side of the racetrack. So all of our junior late model drivers and our pro late model drivers in the Nut Up Pro Late Model Series and 5150 Junior Late Model Series on April the 2nd, Friday night, we'll have a chance to tune up. And then I think we'll have one heck of a race on Saturday night. High side, low side. A couple of people I want to give a shout out to real quick. Donnie Large, his hobby stock broke. So, Donnie, I know you were watching. You texted me a little bit ago. We really miss you. Good looking hot rod. We wish you were out there. Another one was John Slint. Throttle hung open. Big marks down there in turn one. Took the front clip off. Beautiful car. Put a lot of work into that car. Really feel bad for John. And the last thing I'd like to say, Petey Soto, had his complete after the race last week. His whole rig was ripped off, was stolen. And he got his car back, but they pretty much gutted everything out of the trailer. To all of you fans and all of the race teams, it's been amazing, Stephen. Everyone has chipped in. We donated a set of tires here. Ericsson's gave a set of wheels. Other people are donating radios, tools, parts. And Pete, they let us know they will be here on April 3rd, even though everything was stolen. He got just a race car back. So really neat, the community we have here in racing.
Yep, good stuff. And if you guys can smash that like button one more time, we're just about to 100 likes. That'd be a great way to sign off for our sponsors. And once again, looking forward to the rest of the 2021 season. And Kenny, like I like to say, we'll see you at the races.
See you at the races. Any racetrack, any short track race fans. Davey Munoz, my buddy. Coors Light number 2. Okay, easy, Davey. Now, if it were Steven, or I should say Steven, if Andy were here, what he does, he'll hold them hostage. He'll say, okay, until that gets to 100, we're not signing off. So if you guys want to get rid of us, you hit 100.
Well, there was one of the commenters that would love that.
Well, they mysteriously disappeared. I don't know how that worked. They all disappeared. I saw the guys beating him up. Someone must have got in there. He was picking, must have been me. Steven's a professional. He was saying I'm not much of an announcer, I guess. But I was going to apologize for that gentleman, whoever he is hiding behind that name that was out there. He probably paid too much for the broadcast, huh?
Yeah,
free.
We all give him a refund.
There you go. All right, guys, thank you for joining. 95, I like that number, 95 likes. That was my original Southwest Tour number. Dylan Zampa, hoping to make top 7 in March. Be careful, bud. Keep your race car in one piece. Don't wear out your parents' checkbook. Let's see. So glad for the live stream. Well, you know what? We want fans back. Stephen had mentioned this, and I'll just circle back to Josh Rodriguez. I'll be there next week. I'm flagging. All right, Josh, we're missing you. It'll be a nice show, as Stephen talked about. I want to touch on this real fast. We are working really hard to get fans back in the grandstands April 1st. Stephen was talking about Roseville, other places that are coming back online. So we're hoping to have 20% capacity on April 1st is what we're working on. We'll give you more updates again next week. Don Martin, thanks, guys and gals. Well, thank you. Thank you, guys, very much for chiming in and joining in and being a part of this little short track community. We have a lot of fun. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stephen Blakesley, thank you very much. Outback Andy Foster, great night of racing. Outback Andy was at a baseball game?
I think it was softball with his grandkids.
Softball with the grandkids. Well, we missed you, Outback Andy. Your Australian friends probably didn't like listening to me tonight, so you'll be back next week. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Good night.